Warning: the following content may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome back to the Bard's Playhouse Presents Tales from Shadow Valley, Season 3, Episode 14, Seeking the Windseeker. Thank you so much for joining us. Now let's bring in our wonderful cast. We have Eldritch as Sir Tar Khan, the Bloody Rizzolo, Lord Commander of the Song Army and Blade of the God King.
Wouldn't you believe how much has changed since last time?
Shane as Grand Vizier Umbromancer Zavid, Sand Sage of Osirian and voice of the God King.
I will find the diamond in the rough.
And Elliot as Rhys Guiltleaf, the Heartseeker, Crown Prince of Osirian.
I don't like claiming that title all the time, but it kind of has a nice ring to it.
As always, I'm Lumbee Bronzearm and will be your DM for today. Last time, Lux Et Umbra emerged triumphant from the labyrinth of Shimon Sek. With Zalishkar of the Bitter Flame killed, the bottle of binding was reduced to dust. Rhys experienced a rush of emotion as Anyanka showed him a portrait of himself as a young boy within a locket around his dead sister's neck. Upon the back of Rot Trot lay the bodies of Adelina Guiltleaf and Gunnar Gunnarsson of the Windseekers. Anyanka Jenkins had been raised as a skeleton by Zavid and Ma'at not an hour prior. Through her quick thinking, Anyanka preserved the bodies within a time-stop spell for the last several decades, so they were not so far gone as to not be resurrected. Lux Et Umbra began the long trek back to the front of the labyrinth, led by Hoppy Unk, Ma'at's pet Mummator. While waiting for a maze section to rotate, the God King requested Hoppy Unk be allowed to accompany his best friend Chompy the Mimic back to Shadow Valley. Lux Et Umbra quickly accepted the newest addition to their fortress's security. Within Ma'at's throne room, Balag Mahar, the Goblin King, welcomed the victorious champions of the labyrinth. The celebrations were somber and short-lived, as the bodies of Adelina and Gunnar were laid upon the magical symbol on the floor. Through a divine necromantic Osiriani ritual, the dead adventurers were given life once more. Recognizing her baby brother almost immediately, Adelina was overjoyed to see him again. Gunnar was thrilled to learn that glorious battle and an honorable trip to Valhalla awaited him in his future. Realizing that a Jinn's wish was owed to those who destroyed Zalishkar, it was ultimately decided to wish for Rhys's mother, Leilani Guiltleaf, to have never become a listener of the Mordant Spire. Rhys and Adelina had a short conversation as Zavid cast Mork's Cunnin Sendin and put them on holophone. During the lovely family reunion, Majordomo Brahim burst into the throne room in a panic, informing Balag Mahar that the great wind wall, the sandstorm protecting the city, was down and all the earth elementals had wandered into the desert. In a flash, the illusion was broken. Where once stood goblins, now stood Jinn. Every denizen of Shimon Sek dropped the guise to show their true elemental forms. Wasting no time, all ran to the front of the city, confirming that Aukturn the Stranger had indeed come into alignment. Ma'at, knowing her plans had needed to be accelerated, granted Khan the honor of leading the Song armies during the great coming battle, Zavid the right to treat in the name of the God King, and awoke the sleeping inner Jinn blood within Reese's veins. Lux Et Umbra decided to take one more rest at the Just Deserts Tavern, owned by a kindly genie named Tempest Vong. Much was revealed about Zavid's dark past, but Khan and Reese accepted him as he truly is, much to his joyous shock. After a hearty meal, Lux Et Umbra headed to bed, Victor's taking well-deserved sleep before setting off into the glazed sheets of Assyrian to find an airship, an underground city, and a missing princess. That's where we're coming in today. In Reese Giltleaf's bedroom, high within the palace of Shimon Sek, the Lotus Palace within the city of Shimon Sek. It is quite a decadent Middle Eastern aesthetically designed bedroom with fancy tile mosaics of semi-precious stones upon the floor, a large heated tub of spring water in the center of it, lounging purple couches and seats with decadent pillows line the entire bedroom. There are windows to give views and breezes in from the oasis of Shimon Sek during the hottest parts of the day. Gunnar is currently taking a swim within the pool. And Yanka Jenkins is reading a book up at the northern end on a fainting couch, and Adelina, your sister, is taking a bit of a nap on the larger couch to the east.
Okay.
And for context, you just got off of the call, the speakerphone call with Zavid and Khan and Tempest.
Okay, so that's where we are?
Mm-hmm. Just kind of hung up, for lack of a better term.
Alright, cool. So, yeah, Reese wakes up, still has the fox plush, like, glued to him since he got it back, and, like, sleeping in his own bed. It's just, like... It's adorable, but also, like... My god, no time has passed since he was last in his bed, almost. So, he, like, wakes up a little bit after, like... thinking over that whole call. He, like, fell asleep for, like, maybe, like, 5-10 minute nap, because that was a lot of information to take in. You gotta mull it over. But overall, he, ends up just getting up, and he needs a book. So he's gonna go and see the rest of the whole group. And, Gunnar in the pool.
Hey there, Adelina. Coming in for a dip.
I'm not Adelina, but thank you.
Oh, sorry, Reese. You know, you two look so much alike, it's hard to tell. My apologies. You were about the only this tall the last time I saw you.
Yeah, that happens.
Good save.
He goes over.
That was me saving Eli's
I
mistake
know.
in character. Thank you.
You're welcome. Reese still has the fox plush just like in his hands. Like, I don't think he can swim real good. I don't know. Like, And he goes over and like takes a seat next to his sister.
Yeah, she's hard sleeping. Being resurrected is sleepy work.
But Gunnar is just like, nah, it's fine.
Yeah, he needs to get a little bit of the gunk off. He was been in a labyrinth for a century or however long, decades at this point.
Yeah. He feels bad, but he doesn't know how much like time really that they have here. So he just like pokes her just like gently.
Yeah. Well, hey, Reese. Is it morning?
No, I couldn't sleep, not just because I got a weird phone call from my party, but, something's been on my mind.
Oh, what's that?
I've never really had the memory of Mom, as how we saw her, or how you saw
Why?
her. I kind of hate to ask, but I can't sleep not knowing what she was like before the person we saw.
Well, you see, up north in the Ironbound archipelago where we're from, off the coast of the land of the Linarm Kings, there's a great spire. I believe I mentioned it before. It was formed when a goddess who died during the Earthfall, her spirit tried to reach the heavens, but never could. That spirit calls out to those who were affected by the Earthfall most severely, the people of Aslant. As I'm sure you know, it was destroyed, brought under the waves, but not everyone was killed. Aslant was, well, the Aslanti, they were sea elves, a type of aquatic elf. Now, the descendants of those people are us race. We're known as spire elves. Now we've lost most of our aquatic abilities over the years, but that's mainly because of the draw of the spire. This god's soul calls out to the people it saved during Earthfall. We're drawn to it like moths to a flame. Some of us take to the flame a little more willingly.
So, we'll never really have that call, right?
I don't think so, no. By this point, you and we've spent enough time away from the spire. I think we can avoid its call, but you never know.
That's true.
It takes away your individuality, makes you only care about trying to figure out how to make the goddess reach the sky, waiting for her to come back and bring you to the sky. Ma would stand out on the fjords, looking out at the sea, at that spire, staring up into the sky, waiting for the hand to come down and bring her. She wouldn't eat, she wouldn't sleep, just stare at the sky.
That's such an empty life.
I know. I knew I had to do something about it, and, well, there were rocks that came from the sky, destroyed most of our town. These strange crab creatures came out of them, ran amok in the forest. Anyway.
Wait.
Huh?
You said rocks fell from the sky and weird creatures came out?
Aye.
Oh.
Like crabs with brains on their back.
I know those. He pulls out the rubies. I actually got these from the meteors.
Oh, meteor rubies.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen the same?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's
how I met everyone here.
What a small Galarian.
I know. Really,
Well,
though.
that's what destroyed our town. Our home village, Reese, was ripped apart by the creatures ran into the forest. The meteors and the fires are what took the town. You and I, well, I couldn't get Ma to run away from the cliffside. She just watched them come. But I grabbed you and I dove into the water, grabbed a barrel, and we floated out into the sea. If we hadn't been seen by Gunnar out in his fishing boat, we would have been gunners.
Gunners Goners.
You know, that would have been a good name for us too if we didn't have the Windseeker. Gunners Goners. I like that a lot.
It's the subsection of the next adventure. But okay. Yeah, I know you talked about that like a little bit, but thanks for sparing the details in front of everyone else. I think it would have brought them down.
Of course. Anything you'd like to know, I can let you know.
And since I forgot to share for everyone, Reese's sister Adelina is a elf woman with a large scar across her face, honey brown hair, and a fine braid. She wears leather armors with billowy cloth clothes, and she fights generally with a long sword, but will fight with just about anything.
Honey
Actually,
brown. I think I'm gonna call my hair that. Thank you
Honey
for that.
brown?
I've got
Yeah.
honey brown
Honey
hair.
brown,
Honey
yeah. Thank you. And
so
since I have them up as well,
yeah,
this is
go ahead.
Anyanka Jenkins, the skeletal witch of the party, and Gunnar Sunsun, the paladin Viking barbarian of the Windseekers.
I'll just, tastefully put them all up there.
Yes.
Okay, so, like, you're a fighter, but, like, do you have a favorite weapon? Because these... And, Reese pulls out his short sword and the wound striking sword. Like, these are currently my favorite. Pretty nice, pretty handy. But then there's this. And, like, you're just wondering where the hell all these weapons are coming from. And it's the greater striking, one.
Mm-hmm.
This one, though, oh, when it hits good. And he hands it over to her. Try it.
That's got good balance, that does. You see, I do like a short sword if I'm going for quick stabs, but I tend to do a little bit more of dueling. I try to trip up my opponents. I throw them off guard, grab them with my free hand. That's why I like. Damn.
And she unsheaths her sword again and realizing that it's shattered, split in half.
She says, "Well, I usually fight with a longsword, my flame tongue here, but with my left hand free, so I can punch my opponents, throw sand in their eyes, things of that nature. But I'll fight with just about anything if I need to.
She swung across in two boats across with some ropes. She is really good at doing that kind of flashy ship stuff.
I've been told I'm good with ropes, too.
Somewhere across the world, Mythanar sneezes.
Yes. He's just like, you know what? For now, though, like, you need something, right?
Oh,
He gives her just, like, the regular short sword.
thank you, Reese. I could definitely put this to some good use. At least until you said your little mouse friend, what, Con?
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, she'd mentioned that she might be able to fix it for me.
Oh yeah, she's got the skills. Those tiny paws can get anywhere. For the longest time, actually, I thought she was, like, smaller than she was. Like, I don't know. I think I was just, like, crazy in love with my boyfriend at that time. And, like, and then crazy in love with my ex-girlfriend. And when I got out of the crazy in love part, oh my god, I was in love with a really hot orc, too. Oh my god. I've had a lot of adventures. But I do have...
Hey, Adelina, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it? And Anyanka drops her book laughing at that.
Aw, we're both ethical sluts in the family. I love this for us. And, but he just goes on. He's like, yeah, but my main man is, Mythanar. He's half-elf prince. It's pretty.
A prince?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be sure to get my hair done when the wedding comes. I don't know why Adelina's talking with this accent.
I think that's probably Adelina's, like, fancy talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll send the invite to the Windseeker when we find it. But, want a sword?
I would love a sword. Nothing would bring me more joy in this world than wielding your sword, Reese.
I've been told that in many different contexts before.
God
Weird
damn it.
coming from my sister, but I'll accept it.
Yeah, he's definitely your little brother.
But yeah, no, keep that for now. You need something.
Thank you so much. I'll put it to good use. Sticking with the pointy end, right?
Exactly. Pointy end usually does good. I think that one has actually probably killed some of those crabs, so. Yeah.
Yeah, those things they were frightening, but the rocks and the firewood did most of the damage.
We got some druids taking care of them, so.
Oh, you know druids.
Not personally, but the group knows some druids. They're like these special fancy ones from... I don't remember. It's been weeks, but it feels like months. Almost a year, even.
There are many spirit shaman up at where we come from, but not so much the druids who do the animal thing.
Yeah, no.
Animal thing.
That'd be fun, but not my bag.
Oh. I think we can now switch over to the other section of the party. So you
Yeah,
can
that
go ahead and
sounds good.
close that out. I'm going to share this here. And after you're sort of having this nice catching up conversation with Adelina and Anyanka and Gunnar. You're learning about each other. Like they remember you, but you don't remember them. It's like when you meet a long lost uncle for the first time that, they know you, but you don't know them, but they only remember the young you. It's very that kind of a vibe, but you all kind of get along, share stories, that kind of thing. Eventually you get to sleep and morning comes and on.
Oh. You
Hear
froze.
anything?
Oh, there. He's
Sorry,
back.
you froze for a sec. You froze for a sec.
Yeah,
You're back.
I'm back. Sorry, my internet's been spotty this morning. It's very annoying. What did I? Where did I stop?
Morning.
I think, Con, it's morning.
Okay, Con and Zavid, it's morning. The two of you don't really get up that early, but you're not really super late sleepers, right?
Yeah. I mean, we were tired. We hit the hay pretty early.
I
True.
think Zavid probably had a surprisingly restful sleep, with this big weight off his shoulders, knowing that he's not judged. Still, though, I think he wakes up early, because there is still a nervousness about what's to come.
Okay. I need both of you to roll me a wisdom save, please, as you wake up.
Yep.
DC's 32.
Save.
Huh.
Or
Con, you
will, you
save?
mean, right?
Will,
Nice.
yes. Con, you save. Yeah, and you save as well. So the both of you wake up feeling good, rested. Nothing weird happening with you.
That's good. That's good,
Great,
as it
right?
should
It's
be.
great. So yeah, you wake up to the smell of fresh breakfast coming from the downstairs, and as you come down, you see that there is indeed a table with plates set out for all of you with bacon, eggs, sausage, all kinds of toast, the works, juice.
I think I'm going to miss this place.
I'm up at the only. Oh no, this is the table
Yeah,
with
that
the
one.
food.
I was
Excuse
gonna say
me.
the one with the one slice thing of bread.
I saw there's a baguette here. I'm like, ooh.
No, the southwestern table. And a moment later, you see Tempest Fong come out and say, "Oh, good morning to you. The feed and con. I have prepared breakfast for you. As you know, I simply cast it. I did not actually cook it. No need to hide that. But you are welcome to have as much as you want. If you need anything, I will be in here."
Thank
morning.
you.
I'm like, this is the most convenient thing. Imagine if you could just create your favorite meal, snapping your fingers.
Right?
And they don't
Oh,
even
no.
eat. They're immortals. They don't need food. And they can just do that. And we need it, we can. How cruel is that, right?
And it is quite delicious. And you do hear that your animals are outside. Each of them is eating their own food outside. They've got little different
They
troughs.
found, like, people to just... They're like, who is this? Put them down.
No,
Well, it's too late. They're already dead. You might as well finish.
Tempest had given them some food as well, different meats
Okay.
and veg for the veg eaters. But they
You
were
really
fed
need to
and watered.
enunciate, but that's... Never mind.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
I don't get it, and I don't
don't
want to
either.
get it.
You
I
don't
feel like I
want
wanna get it
to.
either.
I want to protect my innocence for as long as possible here.
Yeah,
Perfect.
okay, Dad.
So yes, nice breakfast. Having a lovely time.
Yes. Sorry, I'm still getting stuff together. I think Zavid's probably just eating, and I think he's not scrunging down food. Still healthy eating, but just not. He's eating like a normal person eats. That's weird for him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's usually just tearing into stuff, but he looks like he's a little lost in thought.
Still, I mean, thinking about where we're going to go?
Yes. I am a little nervous. I know that you both have expressed support for me, but I fear that you may come across not just that aspect of my past, but also the less pleasant aspects of it. I am worried that the fetchlings, the Kyle that have reached out to those Languls are my cult. And if it is them, they will not like me very much. Upon seeing me, they will be very upset. And you don't know really anything about them, do you? I don't think I've spoken much about them. Well, let's get our friends down here, and I'll tell you what I know.
Sounds good, sounds good.
All right. You can like sending to Reese if you'd like. You have that.
Yeah. I'll cast sending, but it'll be short. It'll just be like, hey, let's meet up for breakfast when you're ready.
So Reese hears that, and it's like what wakes him up, Zavid in the morning. Best part of waking up, is Zavid in your ear.
Best part of waking up is Veed in your ear.
Hey,
Wake
up!
Oh!
Wake up!
Ah! He's just like, what? Huh? What was that? Zavid?
Hey, I have things I must tell you, but I don't wish to repeat myself. So when you are ready, come meet up with Khan and I, and we will talk about our next plan.
Alright, give me a little bit, I'm gonna... Where are you?
Where it was
And
the
I'm
desert.
So sorry.
The Just Deserts.
Just deserts, yeah.
Oh, okay, you're
Just
still
the
there?
deserts.
Okay,
Yes,
cool.
we stayed the night.
Do you want me to bring my sister, or do you want just me? What's the protocol?
You are the main item here that we need, because it's us three against
Oh,
the
yeah,
world
yeah,
and
yeah.
everything. But if
Okay.
you want to bring your sister, or
I'll
maybe,
see
I
what
don't
she
know.
feels like for food. And
Yes,
then
that's
we'll,
fine.
We'll go from
the
there.
trio are welcome if they would
Okay.
like to join us.
Our trios together, that's nice. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go. Bye. He is not a morning person.
As you wake up, Adelina, half of her hair is sticking straight out to the right. She sleeps like an anime protagonist.
Oh no, I'm late to anime school.
Toast in the mouth.
Hey, Adelina, I'm going to the Just Desserts. My group wants to talk about something important. I don't know, but Zavi doesn't like repeating himself. So, like, I'm gonna go that way if you want
Do they
anything.
have food? Do they
Yeah?
have
Yes, and
Okay,
also
go.
who likes to repeat themselves?
Her
Like,
and
I feel like I'm not weird about it. Anyway, goodbye.
So Adelina slowly rolls off of the couch. Gunnar was sleeping curled up next to Dahafran, the skeletal elk, and Anyanka doesn't sleep because she's a skeleton. So the three of them are relatively ready to go, and we can just sort of
The Skelkington.
the Skelkington. I can just drop you on this map here, Gunner. And then there's Reese.
In bed.
Whoop.
Oh,
That.
hi.
There we go. There we go.
Yep.
So shortly after a small walk here, you and the Windseekers are able to arrive at the Just Deserts Tavern. You know you're here because you see the menagerie outside of animals that all of you have collected over the past months. You see Rot-Trot, Hop-Yunk, Chompy, Wisp, the Dracolisk, and Pipette, the six-legged rat.
We really need a pets adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know.
Reese,
Pikachu's
Oh my
vacation
God.
style, yeah.
yeah. Reese walks in, sits next to Zavid. I'm all ears, but my brain is only partially here. And he starts eating food.
And you see him and Adelina sitting next to each other eating food, and it's as though you put a mirror next to Reese, and they're just just not listening to anything in their own world, just putting food in the mouth.
Food go in mouth.
Food, mouth. Mm. And after a little bit,
It really
Reese
is
wakes up.
uncanny.
So, I need to talk about where I grew up.
Tell me about when
I've-
you were a young boy and you went into the city.
When I was a young boy, my father. No.
I
I think can you use magic to determine how old a person is?
Probably. I don't know.
Why
the
not,
specific
right?
spell. Why not? Yeah.
Sure. I think at some point
Sure.
he would have figured this out because he doesn't know when his birthday is. So he was like,
I was able to figure out I'm around 22 years old.
which is probably shocking because he looks older because of who he is, all hunched over and everything, but he's actually quite young.
The hard
And he goes,
22.
I'm the young age of 22.
coughs up some black sludge.
That's normal for us. Anyway, I never knew my parents, so that's fun. And I was raised in a compound in a very isolated part of the Shadow Plane. So, the Plane of Shadows, if you do not know, is a dark mirror of this plane. I have learned about it in some of my reading when we've been researching sort of the planes, the conjunction. I've tried to figure out where I am from in the nature of that world versus this world. Maybe this is sort of common knowledge, but for anyone who doesn't know, I will just say that I said it. The material plane is very much the center of the universe. It's kind of nice to feel like you're the center of everything, but it is very true in this case. The material plane that we live on is not the only material plane, though. It is a very wide expanse of worlds, and there are layers to it. The planes that border the material plane, that touch it and that create these sort of passageways through. The shadow plane, which is almost like this sort of dark mirror. And then there is also the Feywilds, or the first worlds, as some peoples call them. Now, they're basically like, if you were to take the color, the saturation, and just turn it all the way up, that's the first world. It's just super colorful. I would hate to go there. We know a bit about it. We talked to that gnome from Absalom or whatever. Not Absalom.
Corvosa.
That city. Yes, Corvosa.
Yeah.
Who's experiencing the bleaching because she's sort of
Jophiel.
experienced so much of life that now things are starting to bore her, right?
Yes, her. Again, we can just say you're doing
yeah.
the minor illusion to show these images. Yes, that's Jophiel.
Yes, gnomes from they hail from a world of such color and wonder that if they were to grow up in the Feywild, they do not experience this sort of phenomenon. When they grow up on the material plane, they're good for a while. Material plane is actually a very exciting place, but over time they go through this and then they eventually die. And this is just an aside, has nothing to do with me. I find it perplexing, but I think it's like, if you're here for too long, you go through the bleaching, and it's like, you know that the way to fix this is to go back to the first world. You need that excitement back. You need an injection of life back into you. And because they are being bleached, they feel like lethargic, like they don't feel the need to do that, and then they just kind of die. It's like, that sucks. Anyway, I always thought that was very... So... we Kyle we're humans. We were humans. And we went through a bleaching of our own, but it did not kill us, it just changed us. Our peoples were ferried away from a great cataclysm in the ancient past that happened here on this world, and were taken safely to the Shadow Plains. And over time, our bodies changed.
And then I like bend my arm in a way that it can't bend to do things like this.
I am malleable like a shadow.
I can put things in my shadow, and I pull out a leg of meat, snack for later, and I put it back in my shadow. You can see my shadow me is holding the leg of meat. Like, it's anything I hide in my shadow, you'll notice, is visible in the shadow. So unless you're looking at my shadow, you're looking for it, you wouldn't know that I have something. You have to be very perceptive to kind of catch that.
Was that in there the whole time I was you?
Yeah.
I did not feel that. That is weird.
You have to think about it. You don't feel it. It's sort of like you're
So
checking...
it's seafood.
Seafood?
Yeah, you see it and then it exists.
No. That's completely wrong.
He thinks hard. He thinks a long time before he says no.
He goes, no.
Okay.
Anyway, I digress. I think I'm stalling a little because I'm nervous. But so I grew up on this compound, and the leaders of this cult are undead. They are themselves people that have turned into ghouls or ghasts, a variety of different kinds of undead, but all related to sort of ghoul, because it was a cult to Cabriri, right? Cabriri, so you know, is not the normal god for my people, Kyle, to worship. They worship the deity that brought them over, like that traveling, I forgot the name actually, of the deity that brought them over to the Chateau Plain.
I'll look it up.
Most of them follow that deity. Cabriri is sort of this... I mean, we were a sect in an area that was like, so even in this place, we were not normal. We were our own sort of cult, even in a place like this. And the other acolytes I grew up with were other Kyle like myself, but they were orphans. And we were told that we were orphans. We were abandoned. Right, that we were rescued, that we were raised by the cult as one of their own. I don't know if I believe that, or I don't think we were all abandoned. I think some of us were stolen. I think some of us were born to be in this cult. Some of our parents were cult members before they were killed ritualistically, so that we would not build relationships. We were told not to build like strong friendships. Your love, all love was to the cult and to Cabriri. All love was supposed to be for the brotherhood or sisterhood. You could interchangeable, was not gendered. All love was for the cult itself, the cult of Cabriri. So personal relationships were always placed second. And they made it known that when you reach a certain age, you would be pitted against other children. You would have to fight them to the death. As a pruning process, the loser would be turned into an undead servant, and the winner would then be allowed to learn magics and learn the ways of Cabrerian clericdom.
He tells you guys about, just to save my voice here, kind of give you. He tells you about how he wasn't allowed to leave the compound until he was 7, and then he had to be chaperoned at all times. They were in the ruins of a great metropolis, inhabited only by ghouls and other lower undead and the cultists themselves. This temple that they lived in was a complex, like a very. It used to probably, they didn't build this. I think knowing what he knows now, he didn't know enough to question back then. But these are probably runes that they inhabited of a greater temple to a better, like a bigger deity that had fallen into disrepair, or maybe some sort of dark echo of a city above in the material plane that was copied over but with no inhabitants, right? And was found by these people and inhabited. Additionally, the part of the plane of shadow that he lived in had never a clear sky ever. Always overcast and dark clouds. The plane of shadows, he knows now, especially since he's gone through the shadow plane to skirt, like shadow skirting, like the thing that Danny did and he can do as well. It's called Skirt the Light, his feat that lets him do that. When you look above, you can see a sky, but it's black, no stars. You might see a moon, right? But the moon is the only source of light. There's no sun in the plane of shadow. It is just a dark sky. It's clear. Sometimes you might see clouds, but you can see that there's a sky. There might be stars. Actually, canonically, there might be I think 7 stars. There's very few stars in the sky in the shadow plane, but there is a sky. Zavid never saw a sky. He always saw dark clouds. There was always this claustrophobic feeling world, and the city itself was in this great bowl of a valley. So it's when he came to the plane of the material plane and just saw agoraphobic, immediately just saw this open everything with a bright sun, just very scared of where he was. But when you've completed your education, you have to fight to the death against another randomly assigned classmate. Then you have to eat of their flesh to complete your sacrament to Cabreri, and the other one becomes a thrall.
He says, about 5 years ago, I had performed well for the cult of Cabreri. I maintained the compound. I assisted the younger ones in their training, sort of like an older brother. I had eaten the flesh of my kin about once every month since my initiation. And although it was unpleasant, the diet of eating raw meat, I don't know, you begin to look for comfort in anything. And I found comfort in that. This is part of the reason why I can eat raw meat today. And I feel better about animals than I do about sentient people, right? It was then that the council, led by one of the council, a ghast named Karatz, Karohtz, Karatz, gave me my first mission outside of our sort of territory. And it was to retrieve information from another agent, but I was suspicious of anyone who is not part of our flock, and was taken aback when I came into a close encounter. And I'm sort of reading this because I didn't review this. Sorry. A close encounter with 3 Velstrak augurs. These are demons that live in the shadow plane. I actually summoned that Pain lady. Pain is the way. That Zon Kuthan demon. She's a Velstrak, technically. But augurs are these floating head things. I had a close encounter with 3 of those augurs out away from the ruins, nearly resulted in his untimely demise had he not been saved by another Kyle named Giza. Giza was an outsider to his cult, but quite the capable fighter in her own right. She healed Zavid's wounds through some risky surgery,
And though she was very intimidating with him at first, she needed information. She recognized Zavid was young and brainwashed and not quite as evil as his allies. And through her kindness, Zavid learned the truth about his life. Giza was looking for her brother, who was kidnapped years ago by the cult and that he was a part of. She described his appearance to Zavid, and he did not recall a member of that description among the ranks, but admitted it was possible they kept him in a separate cell of the cult. In exchange for his cooperation, she taught him of the Shadow Plane, their denizens, and the fact that even this plane is not the only one out there. She told him of the material plane and its sometimes tenuous connection points to this plane. Giza saw that Zavid had repressed a lot of trauma from his initiation and the practices they forced him to partake in. And so in exchange for his help, she'd guide him to a place where he could escape from the cult. Zavid decided to take the risk. So 2.5 years ago, Zavid had been feeding information to the cult of the cult's movements and practices to Giza for 1.5 years, learning from her in turn. They became close friends despite his monthly eating of Kyle flesh, which she knew about. It was at this point Zavid met a couple of new allies of hers, more Kyles, whose siblings were stolen or sold when they were young. A muscled man named Renshak and a young woman named Plick. Together with Giza, they devised a plan to infiltrate the compound on a day when many of the agents would be absent, escorting the Council of Gas to a meeting place to confer with their lord. The operation went smoothly at first. All three snuck in exactly where Zavid instructed them to, and were able to give other cultists the slip as a result. They accessed the membership records, something even Zavid had never laid eyes upon, and were just about to depart when the Council unexpectedly returned, led by Karatz. Zavid was waiting for the others at a rendezvous point, but heard the sounds of combat towards the compound. He heard Cabreri's voice in his head for the first time. And Cabreri says, do you have access to this? Eli, do you want to just read this out? I'm sharing it all. I'm spilling my heart right here.
I am muted, apparently. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, God. How can you link? Can you just do the quote and DM it to me? Just quick copy paste it.
Sure. I'm gonna copy and paste the whole thing, and then in parentheses, or sorry, in quotation marks is
Great.
your lines essentially.
I hope Zoom will actually let me do it.
I'll do it on chat here to Eli. This will be fun.
Zoom's been killing so many of my voices. Let's see if I can do this. Let's see.
Ah, my foolish servant. You may be able to escape your peers, but you can never escape me.
I'll get you, Gadget, next time.
Understandably frightened, Zavid quickly snuck his way back to see what was going on, and to his horror, he saw Giza hoisted up by the neck in one of Karatz's clawed hands, and the others nowhere to be seen. Karatz, the gas, says,
Answer me, outsider. I know you didn't get this far on your own. Which of our family is a traitor?
Giza, locking eyes with Zavid some 200 feet away for just a moment, smiled, and she looked back at Karatz, saying,
Hear this, you undead fuck.
The moment you find out, they'll be long gone. And if you do see our traitor again, it'll be for the last time. Karatz snorted a sharp laugh.
On that we agree.
Before elongating his jaw and ripping into her side. She screamed, but was silenced when the others of the council joined in the gruesome feast. So he would just watch his friend get fucking murdered by the council. Zavid, shaking from a mixture of fear and rage and grief, could do nothing but run. After running for a solid hour, he finally made it to the spot where Giza had promised to lead him to freedom, a cave that winded deep underground. Caves and tunnels were notoriously dangerous in the Shadow Plane, but he had no choice but to press on. The scene of her grisly demise kept replaying in his mind, but as he descended, he began to process what had happened. And then I said, number one, Karatz had somehow caught wind of that infiltration, but did not know that it was Zavid who was responsible. Not yet anyway, so that's good for him. But two, Cabreri knew, of course, and may have been the one who tipped the gas off, but if that were true, he refrained from revealing Zavid's identity. Additionally, Cabreri seemed to not be making any attempts to stop Zavid or even take away his burgeoning clerical powers. And three, Renshak and Plick were nowhere to be found. In fact, the records weren't with Giza either. What's possible, perhaps even likely, that they survived and escaped with them. That gave Zavid a bit of hope. Hopefully this isn't too long, but he thought about all of this as he descended deeper and deeper, and whenever he came to a fork, he trusted his instincts to lead him onward, not knowing if he was headed the right way or not. Eventually he came to a large cylindrical cavern about 50 feet long. Inside this cavern were two familiar faces, Renchek and Plick. She was bloodied and hunched over while Renchek lay unconscious nearby. Plick was poring over the records splayed out on the hard, dark stone. Her face was serious, and upon hearing Zvid enter, she stood up. And she said, "I can't believe it. You... Plick, you are alive!" Is Renchek, "Shut up! This is all your fault, I bet. You tipped off your masters to trap us." "I swear to you, it was not me. I do not know how they found out. I covered my tracks, took no chances. How can I trust the word of a damn cannibal? You ate him, you fucking monster." I didn't do it because I wanted to. It was to survive, I swear. And what do you mean, him? Giza's brother. During your little initiation, you killed him and ate him, and now he's some ghoul running around, and she's... And Plick fights back tears and then draws her crossbow. I did not know. I'm sorry. Save your hollow apologies, freak. I'll avenge your death right now. A deep, layered voice rings out through the cavern, and I'm going to send this to Eli.
Although it's not picking you up.
It ain't picking you up.
Nope.
Damn it. I hate stupid frickin' Zoom.
You can just say it as loud as you
will
can.
do no such thing, mortal.
Morsel, yeah.
Morsel.
Ooh. And then she goes, "Who said that?" And Zvid watches as Renchek rises from his spot on the ground, and before Plick can react, he reaches behind her and restrains her arms, causing the crossbow to clatter to the floor. "Renchek, what are you?" Next line for you.
Silence, Zvid. You must escape this plane, but you cannot go without paying tribute to me first.
Zvid then felt a hunger like he hadn't eaten for a week. He nearly collapsed from weakness and looked up again, eyes fixated on Plick. He tried to resist, but every attempt met with a ringing laughter in his head. Slowly, he staggered over her as she struggled to escape Renchek's hold. Zvid could see upon closer inspection that Renchek had contracted ghoul fever, and while it had not transformed him, it gave Cabreri power over his body like a puppet master. "Please, don't make me do this! I don't want to do this!" "My child," through Renchek, the voice is emanating. "When did you come under the impression that you had a choice?" The Zvid lost all sense of himself and blacks out. When he comes to, Plick is lying dead on the floor. Renchek was gone, and Zvid cried out in utter despair. He was covered in her blood. Although he could no longer hear the echoing laughter of Cabreri, he knew that he had played right into his hands this whole time. He wiped the tears and blood off himself and decided to put her body to rest. He took stones and stacked them, made a cairn for her, and only after reading the records himself and committing the names of the members and victims to memory did he set them and her corpse on fire. With nothing but a painful death awaiting him back home, he crossed to the other side. And that's where he sort of leaves off, and he says, "I made my way to the dark lands in your realm. The place of the Drow, the Dwerger, the Darrow, the Snurfneblin. I met very few kind faces in those lands. I had to scrounge to survive. The last thing I remember, really, my memory's frayed, but I remember running for my life, climbing through a small crack in the wall, finding myself in a cell separated by iron bars with some dogs nearby. And then you found me." He looks at Khan. "So, to give you an idea of how shitty the people are that we might be dealing with, they have brainwashed young Kyles that they have kidnapped, stolen, or bought from a slave market somewhere into believing that they are the family for them, that they can only be loved by this cult and that they should love the cult in turn. That consuming the flesh of the weak is a divine sacrament. I tell you this because it is not a choice for me still. Cabreri can still force me to feed on the flesh of my own
kind. I cannot stop myself if it happens. I would love nothing else but to never do that again. But until I figure some way out to get out of this deal I have with Cabrera, one that I made under duress when I was but a child, there's not much I can do.
I mean, in a way, I get it. Thinking your life is one thing, finding out it's a lie the whole time. Your memories, were they real? Yeah. But were they really real? You can't even tell. That is something that's a compulsion that you can't stop because something you did when you were younger. I don't know what my father has on me that is real and is but not real. Sure, do I trust him? A little. Only a stone's throw, but... Look. It's fine. I might make a face, but if you have to do what you have to and it is impossible to pry you off, I have no judgment.
I thank you for your understanding.
I'm gonna look at the trio
Mhm.
and just I want to gauge their reactions. How are they reacting to this horrifying backstory?
Gunnar is enraptured with the whole thing. He thinks it's fascinating. He says, well, you know, it was an ancient tradition of the Lenorm kings to eat part of your enemies after battle to ritualistically and metaphorically take their power into your bodies. So that's not a completely foreign concept to me.
I think Zavid shoots him a look and leans forward and says,
Flick was not my enemy.
Understood. But the other two have been relatively quiet, Adelina and Anyanka. Anyanka eventually speaks up and she says, well, compulsions are compulsions, and as you said, you were put under duress as a young wee lad. That isn't your fault at all. You've clearly been putting a lot of work into bettering yourself and the world around you, given the situation you had. I'd say that's admirable. And Adelina says, weapons are only as good as the person who wields them. I agree with Anyanka. As long as you're wielding this power for good, then the ends justify the means, I suppose.
I think that Khan has been. I mean, she was relatively stone-faced when you first told the story last night, or at least like the broad strokes of it. But hearing all of the details now, she's got like tears in her eyes. Very much trying.
Shane's starting to tear. I'm like trying to hold it together because I was like, man, this was a really sad backstory I wrote.
It was really sad, yeah. Especially because, Khan, you had an extremely happy childhood.
Yeah.
Like, the worst thing that happened to you was you fell off the ropes a couple of times. You know, like, you get a really, really good childhood. So hearing this horrifically traumatic story, what does she make of that?
David, I think whatever it takes, you know, if you want to, I mean, to not have that feeling of being being under someone else's control. If you, I mean, if you need help, I want to help.
I don't think that you'll be able to help, is my fear. It is one of the reasons I don't feel afraid to tell you this, because regardless of whether or not I tell you this, Caprari will have what Caprari wants. When the time comes, he knows that he can make me do what he needs me to do to keep the sacrament. He's told me as such. If you attempt to keep me from fulfilling that sacrament, it would only be a matter of time before it takes control of me again. I will not tell you to stop me, because that would actually go against what Caprari wants, and I can't do that. But I can say that I have not sought to break the connection that I have with Caprari all this time, because I have only survived up to this point because of the gifts that he has given. I have done things I regret and wish I could take back. But if I want to continue to survive, if I want to save this world from an evil worse than even he, I have to stomach this for a little longer. And Gunnar, sorry to snap at you. I know you're trying to be supportive.
No, I fully understand. It is a completely different situation, and I should not have compared, but I just wanted to put you at ease, knowing that it is not fully foreign, and I accept you for who you are and your beliefs, even being different from my own. I will stand next to you proudly on the field of battle.
Zavid gives him a respectful nod. I think this puts a lot of things into better context for the ways that he's acted, not just for his weird the way he eats, but also his lack of knowledge on his very literal sense. He doesn't get a lot of idioms and turns of phrase. He takes things quite literally when people say things, or he misinterprets things. Him not understanding nuance in terms of the romantic and sexual sort of innuendos. Literally they said no personal relationships. Cabrera comes first, the cult comes first. And living that your whole life and not knowing what that's supposed to be like, I think puts a lot of that into perspective and context for at least, especially I would say Reese, because Reese is sort of, it's been kind of amusing, I imagine, that he doesn't know these sort of things, and you can have things go over his head, but it's oh, you poor
Really
kid, you were in this bubble your whole
know.
life.
Yeah. No, Reese during that has just stayed silent because he's just taking that in. Because again, he recently learned about, oh, well, everything you know is a lie. And then the fact that Zavid basically went through the same thing. There's a sense of, not like he didn't respect him before, but he fully respects all he's been through and what he's put himself through. And literally he's been in Zavid's shoes.
Yeah.
So, you know.
That's true. Literally.
Yeah, literally. He's been in Zavid's shoes. So he knows very much about how weird his body feels. And you can't even imagine what the compulsions that he feels, the strong urges when it comes to that, could even be like. Because, his dad made himself seem like he was the biggest villain ever, and it was mainly for Reese's protection. But still, that's nothing compared to, you need to kill your friends and eat them. So he's processing, but he very much empathizes and understands.
I have learned much since I've come to the surface. I've learned different ways of living, alternatives to that way of life, much preferable. And I've even learned a lot about different kinds of undead and different kinds of necromancers. Ma'at is a very unique example. I wish to learn what she knows, how she got to where she is. But I also know that not all ghouls are necessarily unethical. I believe that cult is. I believe that cult worships the most depraved parts of Cabreri's teachings. But know that there are different kinds of ghouls. Lang ghouls we could reason with, talk to. They have culture. They have cities, even. And they do not necessarily eat just anybody. I have heard rumors that they have markets, sort of like organ donors. When you die, you donate your body to become food. And they have substitutes in the meantime. Ways of ethical living, having this sort of condition of being. I wish to learn more about this. Cabreri wishes to have power over them, but I also believe he will need to change his ways to better match them if he wants to keep their worship. This is a bit lofty, but something I hope for, that if he does gain more portfolios to his power, that he grows away from the more depraved aspects, refines better what it means to be a ghoul and what that actually entails for us. Might be a pipe dream, but it is my hope that we can change even a god in this way.
And with Zavid talking about, like, how, oh, well, there's different rules to different, ghouls and everything like that. He looks over his sisters like, is there anything about sea elves or whatever you called them that we know like that or don't know?
What do you mean?
I mean, is there anything, because with the whole conjunction going on, do we need to worry?
Well, I know that elves were immune to the paralyzing power of ghoul claws, but we do need to worry about ghoul fever. So if you see a ghoul, just try not to get bitten.
Okay. Do my best there. They better not be hot. Anyway, no, I was just wondering, I don't know what I don't know, and this is a new one for me, learning about what kind of elf I am. Still wonder how my hair got this light, and how blue. Anyway, still, I just figured if there's anything I don't know, you might know.
Well, as far as I don't know much about ghouls myself, I don't really know much about the undead, but I guess my best friend is an undead now, huh? Hey, Eddie, aren't you Anya? And Anyanka says, yeah, well, it'll work for now. We'll see what happens going forward, but I kind of like it.
After a bit, Tempest comes out from the kitchen and over to the table and asks,
Can I get any of you anything? Would you like more food, more drink, anything after that?
I think I'm fine.
"Oh," and she snaps her finger, and a pile of napkins appears next to you.
If there is anything you need at the market, be sure to stop by there before you head out of town. If you need potions or weapons, things of this nature.
She heads back into the
Actually, don't even
kitchen.
know what I have in my inventory. I need to take a look.
But yeah, there. But I suppose now would be probably a good time to take a short intermission. You guys can think about if there's anything you want in the market before you head out.
You know what? I would like a way to preserve raw meat.
Okay,
Be
interesting.
it if I could enchant the bag of holding I've got to be a meat cooler, like a freezer or some kind, would be that'd be rad.
Cool.
If there's
got
a
it.
way, or something like gentle repose, but rework it to keep meat fresh.
I got you. I got you. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, we'll come back in 10 minutes or so after a brief intermission, and we'll go from there. Hope you all join us. Thank you.
One.
Hey everybody, welcome back. We're back from intermission, and where we left off, there was quite an emotional moment in the Just Deserts Tavern where Zavid revealed the dark details of his childhood and how he came to meet Lux Et Umbra. But the mood is trying to be lifted with a little bit of retail therapy as everyone has headed over to the market and the bazaar inside the city of Shimansek. Exotic spices waft into the air, the sound of, well, genies, not goblins, everywhere. You see there are elementals wandering the streets. There are the odd tourist here and there looking shocked at seeing not goblins as they heard, but genies wandering the streets of Shimansek. But Tempest Vong, the owner of the Just Deserts Tavern, told you that there are a few specialist artisans within the bazaar who might be able to help you out with what it is you're looking for specifically there, Zavid.
So, Zavid would like something to keep specifically things like animal products, meat, cheese, eggs, anything that could go bad in like heat, cold and fresh. So combination of like some sort of cold, like enchantment along with gentle repose, so things are kind of stuck in the state that they're put in there, that they don't decay, they don't get rancid or anything bad like that. That way, he can put that into his bag of holding, and then he can take that with him to keep stuff on him. He has a very strong feeling he's going to need to stock up on a lot of raw meat going where they're going to be going. Being able to parlay with ghouls, you need currency for ghouls, and for that it's food. So he wants to maybe ask Tempest if she would be willing to conjure up sort of the tofurkey variety of person. You know what I mean? Like, because when they create food, they're creating it's made of magic, so it's like not real. Like, this isn't real yogurt. Where did the cow come from where the milk had to be made to make the yogurt, right? So like it would be like magical yogurt, a fake version of it that's good enough. And so he would want enough Kyle tasting meat as well as just humanoid meat of different varieties to stock up on. That's his plan. If I can do that, that would be fantastic.
Ethically sourced, magic grown humanoid meat.
The fact that we had multiple conversations with Tempest where she can just conjure anything up like that, I'm like, I know exactly what I want to do with this.
That's
if she'll let me.
actually a very clever workaround for this whole thing, and I dig it. But yeah, we can kind of hand wave the scene if she agrees to help you with that, because again, it's ethically sourced. You're not asking her to kill anyone. You know, that's extremely against the genie rules. But you found a nice loophole. So she tells you that in the market there are many artisan merchants out there who can help you with this. I would recommend you see the blacksmith Nephrite Cragmore. He should be able to help you build some kind of a box. There, let me see now. The chief enchanter is a Meridi. Her name is Ripple Melodu. She may be able to help you with the putting of the gentle repose. And I would say perhaps the alchemist Hestia Shortwinter. She may be able to help you with any reagents you need to keep this box going with its cold.
Are there any? I also realize this is an opportunity to maybe buy magical items, since this is a genie city.
This is absolutely a chance to buy magical items, high-level potions, and potion reagents, Con. Weapons, armor, adventuring gear, whatever you need, like higher-level stuff, magic stuff, this is the good time. Especially now that the curtain has dropped, the ruse is gone, everyone knows they're genies and not goblins. Because before, if you had tried to do this before, when they were all goblins, it would be goblin-y shit. You know, you'd have janky weapons, little rusty knives, makeshift stuff, but like higher quality than you'd expect, but still goblin-y stuff.
Yeah, I think if it's all right with you guys, if we could stay at like a little bit here in the city to get ready for what's to come. Because now I've got magical crafting. Khan's got a bunch of new stuff. I think we could use this time to prep.
Reese doesn't have much. Reese has the I could change the elements and hit things. Was that with my longbow?
Anything. Your
Anything?
fist, your longbow, your weapons. It just applies to your weapon, your strikes.
What does Reese want? Do you want us to make you something? We can make something. We're your friends. You just have to ask us and we'll make you a cool thing.
That's true. Yeah, Reese
I've got
looks over
20
to-
divine prison shards. I don't even know what I can use these for, but they're like really powerful crystals. I could like make a cool crystal thingy.
Yeah, I think maybe like something that makes his longbow actually better. Like he has the +2, but some form of enchantment or something that gives him a little extra zhuzh, because he doesn't have magic outside of what he just learned. But like something kind of like that, or some form of like armor of sorts.
Can I ask a mechanical question then?
Of course.
When you fire the longbow, does it have the agile property?
Great question.
That's it.
Agile? I don't think it
so
has
that
agile.
you can fire it off multiple times with less of a penalty than normal.
Deadly D10, volley 30 feet. No, it does not have that. You get the normal penalty.
I would like to work in a way that it's like sort of agile in the sense that you fire a thing and then an arrow comes out of your quiver and loads up. So you could just do this. So you don't have to actually knock another arrow yourself, that it just... I feel like that's a simple enchantment. Probably really...
Giving it the agile
simple
trait.
in theory, hard to make in practice, but we're at a level I think we could probably give it the agile property with some magical
Between
stuff.
you and Khan, I say I'll let you try. I like that, because that doesn't sound broken. You're just giving it the agile property. Yeah.
It's a bit of more rapid fire, and then you'll hit more often.
Yeah.
I like
and
it.
then as for like a magical, can you add those sort of elemental properties to your arrows that you fire?
I was thinking something like that, yeah. For using
Maybe we
those.
can create an enchantment that codifies it into some sort of mechanic that works for everyone here.
I think that'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
because
'Cause
Reese is the most rangery when he's using his longbow, and that's what he's been using lately anyway. So.
Making your longbow hit more often and then giving you options to, like lateral, not like big damage, but different kinds of damage. That's like super, that's really useful because you have a thing for any situation.
Yeah. Elemental Assault, because before you only had piercing and slashing damage. Now you have Elemental Assault. What it, excuse me, what it does is for one action, once per day, you shroud your arms and your held weapons in elemental magic. So you can choose one of the elements, earth, fire, air, or water, and it adds a 1d6 to all attacks until the end of your next turn. So you could have like you would start this, then you could have like a flurry and 1, so that's 3, and then a flurry and 1. You could have like 7 attacks with a plus d6.
Oh shit. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got an idea. Then.
Hypothetically, if you just unload.
For Khan and I to work on this, could Zavid work on the bow to give it the agile property, and Khan make a bunch of elemental arrows, like elemental ammunition using her alchemist experience?
Absolutely.
Ooh.
Yes.
That way you don't have to stick with just, like, you have an emergency, I can stick with one if I need to, but you have all the ones that you need. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, no,
Love
that
it.
sounds great. Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, you're wandering around the market, and how are you going to find these people? Asking around? Are you just looking for signs?
Nefrite Cragmore?
Nephrite, but yeah, Nephrite Cragmore.
Oh, it's close. It's pretty close.
Yeah, you're very close.
Nefrite, I'm guessing is a Shitan based on the name. Sounds like a very earthy name. So I would look for a Shitan, or a blacksmith shop.
Okay. Give me a perception check in the tower. Anyone who wants to try this, to find this place.
What was the last name?
Cragmore.
That's
With a
cute.
K?
C.
Ah.
You said perception?
Kathy, with
Perception.
a K, with a C. Caitlin, with a K, the C.
Han, actually, you wandering around, you happen to notice there is a clanking noise. Your ears perk up on it as you're wandering through here, and just to just to your east, actually, there's a southern-facing yellow curtain. Just I can draw here. You hear that there's a clanking coming from in there, and eventually you do see a sign out front that says that just has an anvil with a hammer on it.
This way, this way.
And
I'll drag everyone along.
Yep, it's pretty much right. Just in front of here, and you do see within there's a small building, and there you can feel the heat emanating from the storefront right here. It's mostly just an awning that comes out from the blacksmith shop, and you hear the ting 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 of working metal. And at a forge, you see the massive, muscular visage of absolutely a Shaitan, earthed genie, large muscles. His skin is sandstone colored. His hair has the same texture as shale, and all across his body there are bright, almost magma-looking veins throughout his skin.
I love genies.
They're so cool. But eventually he looks up from his work and he says, "Oh, hello. What can I do for you today? Welcome to my shop." And he sets down his hammer and walks to the front, starts wiping his hands off with a towel.
Well, we are looking for several things. I need, personally, a box of some kind of container. It doesn't have to be square shaped. Round actually might even be better, but something to contain animal products, meat, eggs, cheese, things that could go bad, that I might be able to enchant with cold and gentle repose to keep it fresh indefinitely.
Yes, I understand. So, a box made of some kind of a material that can withstand a low temperatures, yes?
Yes, something to sort of refrigerate what's in there.
A refrigerator.
Yes.
Interesting concept. I've never heard of such a thing.
I
Would be
know,
quite
I'm an
useful
inventor
for-
at heart.
Yes, I can see you're very clever. I can see how this would be very useful to travelers across the deserts. I could sell this. Yes, yes. Let me see here. And he starts looking through his types, his ingots that he has, and he finally comes to a couple of bars, and he picks up a large crate of them, sets them down in front of you. They look extremely heavy. He says, "I happen to have just received a shipment of cold iron bars. I think I could do this for you, make you a big box container. How large are you wanting internal volume?" And you can start talking specs specifically with him, that kind of thing. And
Yeah, I would measure the opening of the bag of holding, so it'd have
Mm-hmm.
to fit in those dimensions, so I wouldn't like tear it, and a little enough slack that I wouldn't have to stretch it, right? So
Sure.
we'll figure out something conservative, maybe
Alright.
something longer than wider.
Mhm.
That way I can kind of pull up like this
for
longer thing.
For sausage, I see. Yes. So it doesn't take him very long with you to work out, especially with Khan here. Actually, I want you to throw me crafting checks publicly. That'll do.
No problem.
Yeah,
The DC's
that
low on
sounds
this one
great.
because this is just making a box.
Took a 10, got a 31.
Nice. Khan, take a +2. We'll call that an aid.
All right.
Yeah, I like how I'm looking, and then you're like, step aside, amateur.
Oh no!
Oh!
Hero point. Hero
All right.
point.
Everyone has a free one for the day, so go ahead. +2. That was significant.
Crisis averted.
Almost a
Natural
50.
18.
Jesus
Almost a 50.
Christ.
we're getting to the point where y'all are almost hitting 50s. No one's gotten it yet. I've been paying attention, but 46, that's between the three of you. You put your heads together and you come up with this ingenious device, this container, this shape that fits snugly within the bag of holding. And he looks at the plans that you've scribbled out, Khan, on this large sheet of parchment. He says, "Yes, I think I can work with this. Give me just a few moments." And he starts pounding away at these cold iron bars. You can see he's coursing magic through his hammer. You can see the flames inside of his forge firing up. He seems like he's having a great time and hasn't been this inspired in a while. And with those rolls, yeah, he's able to make you very shortly a nice little long, well-shaped box with an opening that latches. He hands it over to you and says, "Not a difficult not a difficult build, but very clever indeed. Please, you'll have to come back sometime and tell me how this works once you get the enchantments put on. You can see here the inlays of silver allow for, they work as ley lines inside the material to go up and down." He starts to tell you about the specifics of how he's made it like a substrate for magic. It's not just a box. So each of you are able to make this really high quality. We're going to call it actually a masterwork. That's what Pathfinder has words for it. It's a masterwork box. He hands it over to you and says, "I think this will do you nicely."
I think so.
I'll pay him an appropriate amount of gold.
Works for me. You have enough. I don't feel like doing all the economics on that.
Yeah, this one's a little bit less than like straight up magical stuff. This is more of a thing that can be enchanted because it's
like a substrate almost.
Yeah,
a foundation.
And then I want to ask him about what I want to pick his brain about making like modifying a bow, since I don't use a bow. But I have magical crafting. I think if someone who regularly makes weapons could give me some pointers on how to modify Reese's bow, that would help me when I do the crafting check to do that.
Well, you see, if you hollow out a small thin hole all the way through the length of the bow, you're able to get the material filament through it. Then if you wind this around the bowstring, it can enchant the entire thing in a closed loop. You have to have very delicate hands to be able to hollow out a bow without poking a hole through the outside.
Yeah.
But the two of you seem
take
very
notes.
Very competent. I have faith that between the two of you, you can do this.
Yeah, I'll take some notes, maybe draft up some designs a little later. Then I guess if he's got crafting materials that I could buy in bulk, because I also not just to help Reese with his sort of bow situation. I think I want to start working on my staff since we've got some downtime. What I want to do to the staff, Shane still doesn't know. Sorry, I should know this by now, but I know that this is a good place to get like magical gems and materials and stuff to modify it and do what I need to do. So.
Yeah, he can absolutely. He has lots of material components, metal ingots of all kinds, gems. He definitely crafts in magical items and crafts them himself. So he's able to give you pointers, ideas for your staff. You show him the maybe the divine crystal cage thing, and he gives you the idea that perhaps if you take a truer magical focus and enclose it within, it might be able to perhaps reflect its power back upon itself.
Again, note-taking and ideas of like a primary thing on the inside of the gem, then the Jezatiel or Jezasteel or whatever on the outside, and maybe embed some. I have a divination gem. I'm wondering if I get one for each magical school and fit it on the outside, kind of like Infinity Gauntlet style, so that I can have a +2 to any spell.
Now
That'd be kind of sweet.
That is clever crafting. I think this is the direction you should head. Yes.
I just need a powerful main focus.
I'm gonna offer up one of those divine prison shards.
What do you make of this?
Ooh, now this is interesting material. And he pulls out one of those big jeweler's glasses, and he looks to and he says, well, this is a rare material. I believe this is divine crystal from the plane of law and order. This is pure law.
You got my brain firing off on all cylinders.
Interesting.
Yes. No,
Is
you...
it-
Oh, yes, what?
Does its divine nature, is it connected to any specific divinity, or can someone who does not necessarily worship divine law be able to utilize the law within this?
It is simply a foundation. It is pure law itself. It does not distinguish those who need to use it. If you are capable of crafting with it, you are capable of crafting with it.
So getting the sense, okay, this is separate from. That's okay.
I would like to borrow some tools. I know this is asking a lot. I've already asked so much of you today, but we are, as you know, crafters ourselves, but we did not bring a workshop with us. Would it be possible that we might visit again and borrow some of your space?
Of course. You come with very clever ideas, and you give me thoughts for my own work in the future. You are welcome to come here at any time, yes.
Thank you.
Give him like a humble bow. Then I guess, I mean, I've got what I need. Now I just need to find a place to enchant and work on Reese's bow. So that's going to be my next move.
Cool. So if you are looking for an enchanter, just over the street to the east, you'll find another overhang, yellow, similar to mine. There you will find Ripple Melody. She is a Meridi, hard to miss, blue of skin. She is the chief enchanter here in town. She may be able to help you with that.
Oh, yeah. Sounds great. I need to run to the bathroom real quick, so I'm going to be right back.
Sure. Can I help either of you two? Miss Khan, you are very, very adept with your hands and with crafting. I'm quite impressed with the showing I've seen. Do you require any materials? Anything at all? What are you here for?
Oh, you flatter me. What do I need? I don't think that Khan really needs anything. I think she's good on like poisons and stuff.
Gotcha.
Out of game, I'm working on a very funny drawing that I think will bring everyone a lot of joy.
Wonderful. I can't wait to see that. Reese, do you need any weapons or anything while you're here other than the bow that they're going to work on for you?
No, but he'd like to get something for Adelina.
Gotcha. Okay.
He looks over. She's with them all, right?
With
Yeah.
she's
she's with them all.
her and she and Gunnar are eating some food over at let's say this food tent right here.
Okay.
They're kind of off over. They're nearby enough that if you called for them, she would come hear you. But
Yeah, he looks over. He's like, Adelina, come here.
oh, yeah, and she runs over. What's up, Reese?
Come closer. Come here. And he puts an arm around her. What would you really, really like?
Well,
I know your blade. We'll work on that. But like, if say that sword or that I gave you, would you like to have it enchanted in any way, or would you like a whole new weapon? I can offer a little. Money is nothing to me anymore. It's really weird.
Well, that's nice to know. I mean, the last time I fought skeletons, they didn't really. My sword didn't really do much to them, you know. You put your blade and it goes right through the ribs. Something a little bit blunt as a backup would be nice.
Yeah, let's do it. Hey, he looks over to the shopkeep guy. I forgot his name.
It is Nephrite Cragmore.
Ah, yes, Nephrite Cragmore. Hey, Nephrite, do you have anything that would be really nice, to hit against ghouls? Make it hurt?
Ghouls, eh? Let me think. What are ghouls weak to? He thinks really hard.
I don't suppose you're a follower of Saren Ray.
I personally no, am not. But let me think. Ghouls.
It's worth a shot.
Let me think. Zavid, you would know that ghouls don't have specific weaknesses per se. Let me see here. But you do no. Some have weaknesses to good damage. So if you were to find a weapon that had what is it, a good rune? Let me look it up really fast. There's a rune that does good damage. Holy, that's what it's called. Holy rune. Yeah. If you anything with a holy rune would be helpful against ghouls.
Do you have any, holy runes we could infuse?
Oh, I believe so. I think that we have plenty of holy weapons. Let me see what I have here. And he looks around, and nice. That'll do. And he pulls out this really nice hammer. It's got a flared head and a spike at the end. He says, I think this might do you, but I will need to swap out this rune for you. You say you would like holy. This one has thunder. This does thunder damage. It claps as you strike.
You can't do both?
Let's see if I can. This is a +2 greater.
You can call it like the hammer of God.
Aha, yes, okay. So it's a +2 greater striking thundering light mace, but since it's +2, that means it has room for another rune. So you could just add a holy rune to that.
Yes, I would love to do
Holy
that
shit.
for her.
Okay, great. Yes, this I can do. I have this in stock. You are lucky. I had a caravan come by recently full of missionaries. They're very violent men. I did not understand their dogma, but they were willing to sell some of these to me. Oh, let's see. That's a +2 greater striking thundering. Holy light mace. Holy light mace, Batman.
I was kind of thinking that.
So Adelina, let's drop that in her inventory. Come on. There it goes. Say it's... Yeah. Got to equip it. Yes. There's the mace. Come on, drop inside. Why is it not working? Anyway, I'll figure that out later. But yeah, you were able to buy her this this really, really nice magical hammer from this Shaitani, and he was able to add the second rune on top of it for you. It glimmers with a radiant heat. It's almost hot to the touch.
Oh yeah.
So thank you, Reese.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
Yeah.
I'll put it to good use.
Oh yeah. I figured where we're going.
She looks at it and she kind of turns it around in her hand.
I'll crack some heads with this.
You better. Ugh. That's like God's wrath right there. You got the holy, you got the thunder.
You know, there's an old legend back where I come from of the god Thor. He's the god of thunder, but he wields a one-handed hammer like that. It's called Mjolnir. Perhaps you should take up its name. I think fitting.
Meow meow? Love it.
I like meow meow. Let's call it that.
Yeah.
Then she punches Gunnar in the shoulder. Says, good enough. Your pronunciation's a little off, I think. You'll get there, Adelina. You keep trying. clearly not understanding the joke.
Yep. It's okay. But yeah, that's what Reese wants.
Right,
Like his
so-
friends are making something for his sister or something for him. He feels like he should, well, he gave the one sword in the meantime, the ghoul smashing hammer.
Right. That'll be great.
Yeah.
So Zavid, yeah, you were able to find the enchanter relatively easily. She's over to the east. I'll circle it. There. Because you were given directions by Nephrite, so without much issue, you're able to find that. And very similarly to the blacksmith, it's just an awning that leans into a small shop inside. And you can see that there's a beautiful blue woman with pointy ears and curly, wild blue hair with white pearls inlaid inside of it. She has a scar across her face and she wears purple robes. She is working at a display. She has several crystals up in a formation up near the wall. She does not seem to notice you, though.
Oh, you moved me for me.
Yeah, there you go.
I was just like, I better move my guy, and then he just zoomed out, and I'm like, oh.
I realized you hadn't moved, so I put you there.
No worries.
And anyone else? Who else is with Zavid at that point?
I think that'd
I'm
be a
probably gonna-
fun one for Gunnar and Zavid, though.
Sure, I think I can accompany you on this to try and find your enchantments.
All right. So I go over to Ripple Mellodew. Fun names. Just kind of.
Hello. Hi.
Oh, yes. Welcome to my shop. I am Rebel Melodo. How can I help today? Do you need your chakras realigned?
No, my chakras are fine, but I may need some enchantment help.
Ah. Well, this is my
I,
specialty. Come on, come.
And she
Yes.
comes closer to the edge of where you're standing at her shop.
Couple things. I've got a bow that I'm about to recraft, and I would like for. I don't need the arrows to home in on the target. I feel like that's asking a lot per arrow. But perhaps when someone is knocking the bow, the arrow goes into place. I feel like that's a lot easier to accomplish and makes firing the bow a lot faster and simpler.
Yes, I think this can be done. Some type of a magnetic attraction spell, perhaps. Some type
Some
of
of these arrows might not
yes.
even be made of metal.
Maybe not
but-
magnetic, but some sort of a drawing spell to bring
Yes,
them together.
transmutation on the bow that pulls what it can be identified as like an arrow. You have to write it into the enchantment to kind of, if they've got the quiver, or maybe pair the quiver with the bow.
Oh, yes, matching set, perhaps. This is a very interesting order. Yes,
I cast sending immediately, and I'm like, Reese,
Yeah. What's
would
up?
you like a matching quiver?
Yeah, sure. Fuck it. Let's go stylish.
Yeah, what's your colors?
Well, like blue to match my hair. I like purple. I like green. I like. Who looks over to Adelina? You're a girl. How do I look good in? What do I look good in?
Reese, you always liked yellow as a little boy.
Oh my god, yes. Actually, you know what? She came up with a good idea. Let's do yellow so I can get some more wog power.
Ooh, that's smart.
Yeah.
That's super smart.
Yeah.
So
Like
would you
goldish.
like gold? I was just thinking because if it goes too far into the green, it becomes like a neon, which could be cool, but,
But not where
I
we're
don't know if you
going.
want that.
No, let's,
Yeah, we'll
let's
do
go
like,
for like a goldish. Yeah.
Do gold and then maybe do blue for trim.
Yes, actually, that'd be great. That'd be great.
All right,
Yes.
sounds great.
Excellent.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I say,
I love that
Ripple,
spell.
Me too.
pardon, I was just phoning my friend. I needed to know more about sort of their preference for quiver, but we have an aesthetic idea in mind, and I'll share everything and pay her for her time, whatever she needs to make
Yeah.
this.
Don't need to really RP that much, but yeah, absolutely. She's able to take a quiver that you were able to buy from Mr. Cragmore, Nephrite, and she inlays it with these magical filigrees that they take on the colors that you ask for. It's mostly just a prestidigitation to get the colors changed. That's very, very simple for her to do. But then she weaves this magic across the bow and the quiver, so that they are intrinsically linked. These two things know each other. They have a communication between one another, so that your draw is more true. Not necessarily your shot, but your draw is quicker and more accurate. And yeah, she is able to do this with joy because it's such a clever, unique enchantment. She gets so many enchant my sword with fire, enchant my hammer with cold, so many of those standard things that she's really excited to work on something unique for once. So it has quite a bit of flair to it. You can see swirls of everywhere there's blue, it swirls like water.
Ooh, that's fucking nice. That's so cool.
So-
Probably little what do you got, like a filigree style kind of blue on the gold too that comes down to give it that sort of swirl.
Yes, exactly like that.
It's a water
It's
bow.
extremely high quality, and yes, with Reese's new ability, it could be. So she holds it up to you and she says, "This, I think, will do you well. I have not had a unique enchantment such as this, a unique commission in quite a while. It is refreshing to have someone clever come into my shop. Here you go. Treat it with care."
I appreciate this, and I apologize to ask, but I have another thing that's a little bit less clever.
And then I provide the box made by Nephrite.
Another of the artisans of the city, Nephrite Cragmore, who was just down the way, recommended you, by the way. It's made this masterwork box for the purposes of keeping animal products like fish, meat, eggs, milk, cheese, anything like that, cold and fresh. I have spells that can help enchant this. I just wanted to maybe pick your brain about them.
And then I offered the sort of spells I was thinking, like gentle repose for sure, but what kind of cold spell should I use, and how do I make it permanent, in that sort of sense?
Right.
Well, we enchanters, there is a process we have called permanency, where we can take a spell and attach it to an object so that it is a permanent effect. It is slightly less effective overall than if you had cast the spell just by itself, but it can help. Perhaps we could
and she starts to think and look through her spell options, and I don't remember any cold spells.
That's all right.
But
I just want to
idea of
mention how
gentle
funny
repose is quite good. That will work for flesh. I think though, just these standard cold spells, the Horn of Cold, but perhaps brought down in strength. Yes, yes. And she works with you to kind of make this lower level, weaker version of Cone of Cold mixed with your gentle repose. She's not really familiar with this kind of necromantic power, but she is quite good at the evocation side with the Cone of Cold. So you kind of work it together and cast the spell into the box, and eventually you do see the box swirling with this kind of shadowy blue color. It's almost like the shade underneath a sheet of ice.
I like that. And then you open and there's like a psh, like a mist that comes out. Yeah.
It will work brilliantly. I understand that you like the more creative ventures, but we're going to be going into battle.
And I look to Gunnar, who's been very patient throughout this whole process.
I know that putting fire on the sword is kind of trite. We could do that, but
I want to look at his axe. I imagine to make Gunnar feel like super like powerful, I think having an adamantine edged blade that could cut through stone and metal like it was excuse me, pardon my language, but like melted butter, like that would be a very cool thing for him, because then he could just go wild and not worry about whether his weapon's going to be able to take the blow. If it had adamantine edge, it definitely would. Now I know that would be more in the wheelhouse of like nephrite, but I'm wondering if there is a way that we could, if there's an enchantment that could also make it easier, because I think adamantine is supposed to be super heavy too. If there's a way we can make it light enough for someone who's using an adamantine weapon to swing like a normal weapon. I don't know mechanically if that's...
Sure, yeah. No, I see what you're saying.
Mechanics.
I see what you're saying. He pulls out his axe, and when he does, your recent acquisition of magical crafting and becoming a master in crafting, your eyes kind of go wide as he pulls this thing out. It's a +2 greater striking, wounding, shock battle axe. And he says, I fight with a lot of electricity. Whenever I go into my berserker rage, I actually kind of burst with it. It sort of it's a natural part of my raging in battle. But yeah, if there's something you can do that would make this smash even harder, I would appreciate it. And she takes a look and she says, my, this is a very powerful weapon indeed, but you say you fight with electricity. Perhaps I could put an edge of water on the end, on this cutting side, because water is a great conductor of electricity. And she starts to wave her hand across it and summons a ball.
I'm thinking like that's not going to tarnish or oxidize the metal. It'll keep.
It is gin water. It is meriti water.
And she summons a ball, a sphere of this ice blue water. It's the outside is frozen in ice, but the inside is a swirling water. And she takes it and holds the axe and drags this ice ball across the blade on the sharp end like a whetstone. And as she does so, you can see that it's melting the ice a little bit, but the water stays right on the edge, just the tiniest sheen of wetness right on the razor edge of this axe. And she says a few words into it, and the ball of ice disappears into her hands, and she holds it up and says, I think this might help. And she hands it back to Gunnar, and he looks around and he says, is there something I can try smashing? And she says,
well, I've been wanting to get rid of this chair. Yeah. And since I no longer have goblin legs, I no longer need to sit there.
And he's, whoa, I like the sound of this. And he takes the big axe, raises it up as high as he can. Let's give this a shot. And he smashes against the chair, and it explodes in a power of electrical shocks that go across the ground, leaving little burn marks across the sand in the shape of lightning. I think I'm gonna like this. And for that, I'm going to give his axe the adamantine property, even though it's not technically made of adamantine. Because that's really cool.
Yes, it is.
Adamantine. That's so very, very cool. Gotta put magic slashing, adamantine. Great. So now his weapon counts as adamantine.
I thank her for her time. Pay what I owe, and
Thank you kindly. I will try to come back if we can.
Yes, please, the return business is always appreciated. But go with kindness.
I love also the picture of her. It looks like she's making that face at the idea of a new enchantment she's never tried. Like Ooh.
Yeah,
Never tried that one before.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that idea. Yeah, I really like the art I found for these three merchants. I made these three NPCs last night.
Wait, is the NPC art up?
I can
did-
share it again.
Yeah, share
Yeah,
that again.
I don't have the third one. I've got
Oh no, the third
Nephrite
one.
and
No, I don't
Ripple.
have her yet. No, I haven't brought her up yet.
Gotcha.
Khan, what are you doing at this point? While Zavid and Gunnar are over with Ripple.
Probably just sticking around Reese, making sure he gets everything he needs.
Yeah. God, we should get something really awesome for Anyanka. We kind of did bring her back from the dead, but like, he looks at his sister. What do you think she would like really love for like battle?
Oh, I mean, Onyanka, she's a really powerful witch. She's strong with magics. I mean, let me look in my memories to see what items I remember her having. So, looking through my memories here, I know that her armor, it's leather armor, but it's not the strongest. It's magical, but not great. She does get hit a lot. I mean, Gunnar stops a decent amount of the attacks, but when she gets hit, it's usually a wallop.
You know what? We should get her some pretty nice armor. Especially now that, things can go right through her.
Oh, I agree with that. She might, she could definitely use some new type of leathers.
Let me see here. Onyanka is wearing +1 resilient leather armor. That is not good. Okay. So you'd ask Nephrite if he knows like a tanner, and he says, "Well, I personally do not make leather hides myself. I'm a blacksmith by trade, but if you go to the south a little bit and to the east, you will find another shop, an overhang of yellow like my own. Inside you will find Hestia Shortwinter. I believe she is a tanner and an alchemist. She should be able to help you."
Perfect. And I'm guessing it's the one right here?
That's the one.
Okay, so Reese makes his way over.
You go in and you see a lovely red-skinned woman wearing a beautiful red silk dress with gold trim, sitting at a leather tanner, and she has long red hair in braids that are tipped in fire, and her hands are scraping against a large tanned piece of leather, and as she scrapes, her hand has fire on it, and she's scraping with the fire hand.
Reese just like watches her do that. Hey, hot stuff. Sorry, that was. I can't talk to women very well. Sorry.
Yet you insist on trying all the time.
I do. And I think that's like probably Khan just like comes up to him.
Khan saves the day.
Yeah. Has that line ever worked on you?
No, I do not think that line would work on most anyone, but welcome to my shop anyway, as long as you're a customer. My name is Hestia. It is nice to meet you. What can I do for your custom today?
Well, I have a friend back there, and he points over to Anyanka.
Oh.
And I think she only has basic leather. Kind of want to get her something nice, like something that's sturdy, not like fashion forward, but also like practical.
Yes, I see. Oh, very well. That poor dear, she cannot be walking around in ragged leathers. Let me see. Oh, what do I have here? She is quite skinny, that one. Perhaps something in a child's large. Yes, let's see. And she's looking through all of her.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Let's come out with.
Oh, okay, you're here. You
yeah, sorry.
kind of weren't.
Internet conk out for a second.
Yeah.
All right, sorry about that. But Hestia looks through her racks of leather armors and eventually comes forward with a few different options and lays them out. And she says, "This one is a greater resilient leather armor. It protects a little bit better than standard against any type of weapons, and it does have some magical resistance." We
I think that'd
also
be good.
can. There are also armor runes we can add to them to give them different properties.
I think that'd be more than perfect. But I'm not really her traveling companion of sorts. He looks over to his sister like, think that'll do?
Oh, I think I know exactly which rune we need to put on that set of armor there. What about an invisibility rune?
Oh my god, yes.
Aye. Oh, yes, invisibility. I believe I can do this for you on this armor, yes.
And she takes the armor, picks up a small rune that kind of fades in and out, sort of translucent, sets it on the breastplate of it, and in her hand, a swirling gout of fire erupts, and she sets it on the rune and traces the outside of it with her finger, almost welding it into place with the fire of her hand. And eventually it sits, glows bright, and then goes back to looking just like armor.
Yes, I think this should help you. You should be able to say the command word and go invisible for a short period of time. But since I am a particularly powerful leather tanner, and you seem to have quite a bit of coin, I have given you the greater version of this rune. You should be able to do it 3 times per day.
That is brilliant. Oh my god. Yes. Alright, well, oh god.
And what about you? What can we do for you today? You seem to know at least a little more about talking about women than your tall friend.
We held that you are an alchemist.
Oh, yes, I do dabble in the alchemical processes. It helps with the tanning. They go together well. I use many alchemical ingredients in addition to magic in order to make my leathers all the more better. But yes, look at my stock. I have quite, if you look on the other side of the wall, I have potions there. Take a look for yourself.
Ooh.
And she has essentially anything you could want up to like level 14 for potions and poisons. Again, these are genies. Like, this is not your standard just jackass marketplace in a city. You're literally in a city of genies. So yeah, if you need high level potions or poisons, this is where you get it, right here at Hestia.
Yeah, I'll peruse some potions.
Great. Let's see here.
You gained the achievement, Potion Peruser.
Potion Peruser. Yeah, the highest. Yeah, she has up to greater healing potions, the level 12 ones.
Ooh.
And I thought, is there a potion that gets rid of fear? Because I feel like that's something that Khan specifically would be wanting after becoming frightened 4 against Zalishkar.
Yes.
Is that a thing?
Yes.
Is there a anti-fear potion?
Bravery potion?
Ooh, maybe.
Or heroism, maybe?
Bravery potion? Potion of remove fear? Is that a thing? Let's say it is if you want them. Potion of remove fear. I can make that easy enough.
Yeah.
Is that a thing you want?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Just do that. Oh, everything's laggy. There we go. Bronze character sheet. There you go.
So you say you want a little bit of liquid courage, it sounds like, yes?
It's just whiskey.
Oh no, not cotton drunk.
Yep, there we go. So I gave you a potion of remove fear. Let's see. I'll give you 3. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
I do not get much call for these, but I have a few. They should help you out if you are ever in a tight pinch and you see a spider or something equally frightening.
I think Khan is fighting the urge to flirt with her just to one-up Reese.
Give me a perception check in the tower.
But no, Khan has a girlfriend. That wouldn't be fair. Perception, you said?
Yeah, perception in the tower.
Yeah.
It's really obvious to you that she thought it was funny that Reese failed so bad at flirting. So she's flirting with you, but not in a she's actually trying to flirt with you way, but in a clearly like, I'm just going to do this to mess with him kind of way. Like, you pick up on that really quickly.
Well, when you meet someone, it's nice to have something to, remember them by.
Oh, well then, perhaps I could give you something to remember our store by.
And she pulls up a little leather brooch, and it's really quite nice. And but it's got no design on it, no, just a flat circular piece of leather. She takes her finger and again traces quickly on it, burning into the leather. She says,
For good luck.
and she gives it to you and kind of winks at you. And you look at it, and it has like, the leather burning kits you get?
Mhm.
Or like wood burning, I guess. It's like a wood burn, but on the leather, and it's an image of Khan's face, like a cartoon, like a caricature mouse on it. And it's a consumable that I haven't chosen yet.
On the back, it says, "Call me."
Right. Yeah, perfectly. It says call me on the back. Talisman. It would be a talisman. Let me look real quick like at a what would be a good talisman to be giving in this situation? Okay, cool. Yes, this is a dragon scale cameo. What this is
Ooh.
this ornamental pin consisting of a single preserved piece of dragon leather from a chromatic dragon, mounted in a setting of precious metals, typically affixed between the shoulder blades. When you activate the pin, a pair of draconic wings matching the color of the scale unfurl from your shoulders, granting you a fly speed of 50 feet for 5 minutes.
No way!
Yo.
And let me see. I want fate to decide the color, so give me just a second.
Uh-huh.
I want you to roll for it, but let me
All
find.
right.
But I don't know what order I want it in. Let's see. Dragon breath. Let's see. How many are there? There's. What are the damage types? There's fire. Jesus. Damage
Fire,
types.
acid, cold, poison, lightning are the main chromatic types.
Okay. Damage type. Yeah, how many are there is what I'm really just trying to find. Oh, so much information. Holy crap. You know what? I'm just going to write them down. Cold, fire, lightning, poison? Is that one of them? Acid.
Poison, yes. Poison's one.
Yeah,
Poison, acid, lightning, fire, cold.
Cool. Con, roll a d6 and re-roll a 6 publicly.
Okay. 1.
You get a cold dragon's scale.
Ooh.
So this is a dragon scale cameo. Let me see if I have that in Fantasy Grounds.
Ice arrows.
It's not, but I will make this for you between sessions. Dragon scale cameo hold. So it is a white scale, a bit of hide. It's about this big. You can see several scales within it. It's very well preserved, and she has burned into the hide the image of Khan. And again, this is a consumable. It will go away once you use it. It's a one-time use.
Gotcha.
But at least I'm pretty sure. Yeah, consumable, yes. So this is like a oh shit button kind of a thing. And she hands it to you and says,
I think this will do for someone as cool as you.
Oh, many thanks. I'll do a little bow.
Come again.
I give Reese a smug look.
Just silence, and I give Reese a smug look.
Reese is speechless and amazed and nods in respect. And just like walks along, just back, like, yep, okay, you won. Great, I have two sisters right now, just harassing me, it's fine.
Basically.
And walks over to Anyanka.
Oh, this. Where have you been? Look at this. They've got this funny little gourd here. And she's literally looking at just a gourd.
I mean, they're kind of weird when they get those little green spots. Like,
It's got the bubblies on it.
I
And it's
know.
got a little neck and it's a curvy. And she's clearly really taken by this gourd. You know how sometimes people just find something funny?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's clearly like it's not magical, it's literally just a gourd, but she thinks it's funny.
That's pretty funny in itself. Well, good thing you came back because, you got that gourd and it's pretty cool, but wanna know what's cooler?
Oh, was ice cold?
Alright. Anyway.
I hate myself.
I hate myself too. Hi. You're still my friend, it's okay. So he takes like a bag out and hands it over. It's for you.
Oh, you got me a present?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now that's some armor. Goodness, look. This is so much nicer than this crap I've been wearing. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, Race. This is so nice.
Of course.
I'll put it on as soon as I can.
Please do. We're going where no people have gone here before, but we're going to uncharted territory of bad. I want you in one piece, but sometimes being
I'm
in
actually
one.
at 206 paces. And she holds up all of her bones.
Yeah. I know. You remind me of this legend. He was a bard, and he's just like you. Actually, he sailed the seas. It's pretty cool.
I don't think I know that bard's tale.
The Bard's Tale of Sir Brooke.
I don't understand that reference.
Yeah, no, he was a walking, talking skeleton. He came from a great crew and survived hundreds of years on the sea, all left alone. Until one day a weird robber boy found him.
Well, we sail the skies.
Exactly.
Hopefully we'll be able to find the Windseeker and, find this sister you've been looking for, or that city that your Zavid friend's looking for.
Yeah, I think it'll be great.
Have you seen them? Should we get back to the group?
Yeah, no, Con and my sister down there, they're talking shop. But yeah, let's go back.
All right. So, Con, you say that gladius there is what you used to attack you to kill Zalashkar? You cut his arms off with that tiny thing? I'm amazed. Your skill must be unmatched. I can't wait to see you in a real fight.
Well, with how many fights I get into, there'll be, plenty of opportunities.
Well, it'll be fun to stand side by side with some new people. As much as I love Gunnar and Yanka, I mean, it's always fun to learn new tactics from new friends. Anyway, let's go find the group.
Now, eventually, all of you kind of manage to meet up at a central-ish area. You're getting kind of hungry. There's meats and different foods that are on street carts, essentially. And you're all showing off your new items and things to everyone. And Zavid, I think we need to get you something into your inventory for that. It's called the Box of Colding.
Oh no, that's so bad. I love it.
Yeah, that's good.
There you go.
Bad. That's a good. That's a cheese I like.
It's a Gouda.
There you go.
It's a good.
It's a good. Yeah, I put that into your inventory. The box of colding.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yes. Where would you like to head now? Is there anything else you'd like to do in the market, in the bazaar here?
I think actually Reese wants to get some like snacks, like Osirian snacks to just like keep, and that's about it. Now knowing that the rock candy that he ate was probably not actually rocks.
It wasn't rocks, no.
Yeah.
It was not.
He would like some more rock candy that is clearly not rocks, and it was probably some form of like sugar.
Behind the scenes, I'll tell you, it is essentially the plane of elemental Earth's equivalent of a never-ending gobstopper.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a chunk of sugar that doesn't go away. It's a chunk of the elemental realm of air, Earth. Never-ending gobstopper.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, you're able to easily find more of the rock candy, knowing what it is now. And yeah, plenty of other Assyrian goblin snacks, Shimon Sek snacks. Zavid, you were able to stock up on regular meat for yourself. And yeah, that's right. You were going to go back to the inn, correct?
I think so, yeah. And probably borrow a few tools from Nephrite just so I could work on. Because, like, for some things, I'm going to need Zanvil, his other stuff I might have to be there to work on. But for, like, my staff specifically, probably don't need that.
Right.
There are things I don't need it for and things I do. Just, like, the tools should be enough, I think. I hope.
Right. So let's put you on this map. Y'all can close out of the market there if you'd like. And where's Gunner? There he is. So after a long day of shopping, it's still mid-afternoon perhaps. You come back to the Just Deserts Inn. And as you see the other animals are still chilling outside, having a good time. Wisp and Pipette and the Dracolisk and all them. I think we kind of scored in the market today. I can't wait to try out this new axe in the battle. Give me something made out of metal or stone, a golem or a construct.
I mean, wait. So Zavid, would that thing hurt you?
With what?
Points to Gunner's new thing. That looks like it'd even be able to hurt you. Is that true?
I get hurt a lot.
No, like really, like ouchie.
I mean, it has been enchanted with Maridi water. It's different than normal water. It does not oxidize the blade. It can slice through things. Which actually, physics, people that actually makes sense. A lot of times when they have things that bore through stuff, they use water as a lubricant to get through. Yeah, so it's
High
actually
pressure water.
very scientific in that way.
Yeah.
It's like
You're
atom
like-
thin water.
Or okay.
Molecule thin water.
Have you ever been like cut and sliced like really bad?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I mean, I don't understand ghouls, and I know you're not really a ghoul, but those are like.
I am not a ghoul.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what?
I have to act like a ghoul. It's my tenant as a follower of Cabreri.
Yeah,
I am
no,
not
this makes more
undead.
sense.
Yes. I get hurt a lot all the time. So
You
I'm
just
not a
do so
ghoul.
much harm that I can, sometimes I can't tell, but that makes sense. This is Reese trying to be like, I definitely did not think he was a ghoul this whole time. Just like
I love the
Khan
fact
was
that you
not
would
tiny.
look at Khan. Khan would stand there looking at you, and in your brain you're like tiny. And you look at
This is
Zavid,
an
who
illusion.
bleeds blood and is very much alive, and you're like, ghoul.
Ghoul. Yeah.
Look, He thought genie were goblins. Nothing makes sense to him.
Honestly, as like a remnant of just living in a town that sort of subtly hypnotizes people to like not question things, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it had that, and I'm like, hold on, I gotta get one on speed.
I definitely am not undead, and this would kill a ghoul, but it would also kill me even without the water. In fact,
And I pull out just like a regular like dagger.
this would kill me if you applied the right pressure to it in the right spot. I'm not undead.
Okay, just checking.
If you apply
Right.
enough pressure on the right spot, you can kill someone with the shoe.
With enough pressure in physics, you could chip your tooth just eating something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
As you're having
And
this
then,
conversation, you eventually get into the tavern, and Tempest welcomes you.
Oh, hello. Welcome back. How's your day out in the market?
Productive. Do you have any other customers, or is it just us?
It is just you today, I believe. Yes.
All right.
and I'm going to clear off this table and lay down some stuff. Like I'm making a workshop table. I say,
We bought some things from the market, but there are certain things that only Khan and I can accomplish. So we need space to work. I hope this is all right. If we must pay you extra, we shall.
Not a problem at all. You know, it is always very interesting to see what all of you are up to.
all right, I'll
Yeah, so
set
I'm
up.
very interested in this.
Yeah, I think I have not yet. I need to decide at some point what I'm going to do with my staff. So I'm going to just focus on getting Reese their stuff first.
Mhm.
And then if Khan wants to also use some time to make those arrows or do whatever Khan wants to do.
Great.
Um,
Let's start with the arrows because that's the simplest thing. That's going to be the lowest DC, making them arrows. So, Khan, just give me crafting publicly. The DC's 32 because it's a standard DC for your level. I believe that's going to be a quite easy, and you can have guidance from Zavid if you want it. So a +1.
Sure, I'll do a guidance. I feel like I don't want to try to aid because I feel like Khan's just going to be like, don't crowd me. Like,
Yeah.
let me
But
work.
the magical aid.
Yeah,
of
just
guidance.
like, here's a +1, I'll leave you alone.
Yep. So, Khan, that is a critical success. So, let's say you're able to craft 20 elemental arrows. Let's say 4 each of the 5 dragon colors. Let's say
Ooh.
cold, fire,
Hell
lightning,
yeah.
poison, acid. Yeah. 4 each of those. So, Reese, I'll just dump those in your inventory here. Let's say elemental arrows. Then in the description, for each of cold, fire, lightning, acid, poison. Cool.
Dope.
So that is now in your inventory there. So that was a crit. That was very good. All right. Moving on to, I think the bow is probably going to be the next higher DC on this one. Are you two working together on that? Con, you're just describe how you're able to bang these out. This is no issue for you. You critted. What is Con doing for this to make these arrows?
I know that we got those gold dragon scales a while back. I think more than we needed for
That's right.
the blood magic finding the siblings ritual.
Mm-hmm. You have
I think
5
that
of
maybe
them.
Khan has taken like very tiny shavings of them and mixed them with other alchemical components, the type of stuff she uses to make bombs, and coated the arrows with that.
Very cool. Yeah, so with the extra kick of the gold dragon scale shavings, I'm gonna say you've used 1 of them now, so I'm gonna put you down to 4 of those gold dragon scales. But that's a really good use of that. That'll give them some extra kick. I'm gonna make the note in your arrows there, Reese, so I don't forget.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll stat these out later.
Thank you.
Let's see. Fortified with gold dragon scale shavings. There we go.
Yeah.
Note for myself for later. Cool. That's really awesome. So the bow, you said you're going to work together on that?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll apply the tips that guy provided, sort of hollowing it out through the center, which is very difficult. Kind of go through like different sort of ideas until we figure something out. I'm guessing a tiny little drill bit on a big wire thing, and you kind of do this and sort of hollow it out, and then use magic to guide it the right way so it doesn't drill out the side or something.
That's the key.
Yeah, and then apply the enchantment to well, I mean, it's already connected, the quiver and the bow, but essentially finalize it, I suppose.
Yeah, sure.
And then have Reese test it out.
Great. So we'll say that for this one you are aiding Khan. So you can give yourself guidance and give me crafting publicly.
Sure.
And this is sort of a time lapse, so enough time has passed that you can give Khan guidance again on her second one.
Sure.
Okay, that is definitely a critical success. So altogether, Khan, you can have a 3.
Ooh.
How are you aiding her? Are you doing the magically guiding the drill bit? Is that
Yeah, I think Khan is more dexterous and would probably be doing the drilling, and then I would just make sure that as it's going through, it stays in the center, using some spell.
Well, she just rolled a 47 on her crafting.
Jesus.
God damn.
A nat 18.
Nat 18. Jeez.
Not complaining, but holy shit, Con.
Yeah, holy shit. I want you to describe, how do you describe a 47?
Yeah.
Surprisingly fast. Just
yeah.
All right. This should take a week's worth of work, and
yeah.
I feel like she just
so
does
fast.
it. I've got better things to do than handle this bow. I'm gonna get this done quick.
Yeah.
My soaps are on. I gotta hurry.
Your stories.
Your stories, yes.
My episodes.
So funny. Okay, so we added the agile trait. I can fix this right now, actually. 1 and 1. There. At least that should have. No, not 32. 2. That should. Anyway, I'll fiddle with it later if I need to. But yeah, you are able to, between Zavid guiding this tiny drill bit and Khan's dexterous little Yisulki hands, you're able to get this perfect hole right through the grip of Reese's bow. And you place the magical filament inside. It's a long piece of the thinnest you can imagine piece of mithril, pulled tight like a guitar string, that you lay through it, and you close it up and finish off the enchantment. And that is absolutely a humongous crit, so it's a full success. You're able to get not only are you able to get the agile trait on it, but it'll also be silvered.
Ooh.
Nice.
Because you rolled a redonkulous roll on that. So
you fill the hollow space with this lightweight liquefied silver or something like that.
Yeah, where the filament is, where the hole is in the filament of mithril.
It balances the bow gyroscopically. Oh, that'd be kind of fucking cool.
Awesome.
I'd like to address something because I checked Twitch chat, and the lovely person in Twitch chat says that Reese has no Riz. That's actually canonically true.
That is, yeah.
That's part of his character. That's not just Elliot flubbing up a line. Reese's charisma is 10.
It's his dump stat. In Pathfinder 2e, 10 is is literally the lowest you can get.
Without taking a flaw.
Yeah, without taking a flaw, it's the lowest you can get. Reese's charisma is 10. That's absolutely canonical. You are correct.
People in other ways. It isn't with his words.
Not with his charisma, no. Yeah, but you're able to make this beautiful, not only functional weapon, but it's a work of art. And they give it to Reese, and let me see if that math fixed itself. The longbow. That's a -4 and a -4. Yeah. Okay, so you see how okay, are you on your actions tab there, Reese?
I can be.
Yeah.
Actions, yes.
You see on your +2 wounding striking longsword, you have 26, 21, 16.
Oh, yeah.
See how they drop by 5? Now look at your +2 longbow. 26, 22, 18. They only drop by 4 each time. So that's essentially giving you a +1 to each of your consecutive shots. It doesn't help you on the first shot or your flurry, but on your consecutive shots, you'll miss less.
Okay, so basically my other stats were bumped up.
Your stats weren't bumped up. It's just that when you make more shots in the same round, you will miss less often.
Okay.
It doesn't help your first shot in the round.
No, that makes sense.
But your second, third, fourth, all of those.
Yeah. Awesome. Ooh.
Yeah.
I like it.
And it's also silvered. So anything that requires taking silver. Oh, whoops! I gave silver to the short sword. That was not right.
Yep.
And let's give that to the bow. Piercing. Oh, it is also magical. Need to give it that. Magic. Silver. Great.
Yes,
all right.
Good.
Then, Zavid, you're wanting to work on your staff. What are you wanting to do with it? We've got this kind of idea, this sort of amorphous, all the schools of magic thing going on, and I like this direction.
I am not telling anyone this. I have the idea of making a device to be a catalyst that I can use eventually to break free of the brewery. I've said nothing to anybody. I am treating it as a weapon to serve my ends, which it will be. But I'm thinking a lot about that Starstone challenge. I think Zavid really would like to at least give it a shot if he cannot figure out some alternative means to breaking Cabreri's sort of hold over him. He also thinks it would be very funny if he were to win the challenge and then meet Cabreri face to face as equals. Would be very funny to him. Though he knows how risky it would be, as almost 99.99999% of people just die straight up, do not even get to the end. So finding a wish could get him like a sort of map, having something in the staff to store information to guide him and help him in something like that. I think that's his ultimate goal. So I think having each school of magic, like a gem that represents each of them, would be really important to him, so that it could be very sort of generalist kind of staff that could anything he needs, he could just do what he needs to do.
How about in the morning you can prepare a school into it? That kind of thing.
I'm cool with that. I honestly don't
We'll figure out
know
something
enough.
mechanically.
Staffs are really complex, and I have ADHD, so I put it off a little bit to read up on that stuff. And then Eli was like, everyone at home, Eli was like, you should pick what kind of spells you want. I'm like, sure. And then I look at this ginormous list of spells. I'm like, it's impossible. I cannot fathom what to pick for this. And then you look at how strong it can get. I'm like, what can't a staff do?
There's a reason Reese is not a magic user, because when I was learning how to do Pathfinder, I was like, I'm good at rogue, but I want to be ranger, but I kind of want like rogue attributes, because I don't want to deal with magic. I'm bad with magic, and then I make bubblegum sweet.
Whoops.
It's so difficult.
Yeah, so
it's a lot.
Magic is a lot. Not for your first time if you've played Pathfinder, because there's so many options, and if you have ADHD, it's like looking at the Cheesecake Factory menu.
It's a lot, yeah. So you bought gems in the market, correct?
I think so. I think I'd buy gems for each of these schools. And then I haven't done anything to staff yet, because the enchantment gem that I have right now is divination. So I would want to infuse a school into each of these just like that, and then eventually attach it to the staff. I don't even think I have the innard, like, main thing either. And I think I want to fuse those divine shards together for the core crystal, because I think we talked about like the ghoul stone would be great, except it's connected to Cabrera. It's his stone.
Yeah,
I don't
very
want to
much.
give him any sort of power over this thing. Having shards of pure law, I not only I have to follow the law of the cosmos, but so do the gods. Knowing that they are subject to that same sort of principle, I would want to utilize that in some way. I just haven't figured it out yet. So I guess I'm doing the auxiliary gems first, and I think he's going to continue to like ruminate about what he's going to use this for.
Okay, I like that a lot. There are 8 schools of magic. I just looked it up. So
I need 7 gems
you need 7
to add
gems.
to my divination that I've
Mhm.
got.
Mm-hmm. So it's a divination staff. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I have a divination gem. I haven't connected to it yet.
That's right.
But
yes, you do.
I was thinking fashioning it to be Infinity Gauntlet style, have a socket on each side, so it's like this scepter, and then on the inside be the divine law shard, which
Got
would
it.
actually be like I would have to fuse those together again and make like a final crystal thing.
That would take some crafting or some magic as well to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. Yeah, if you want, Khan can help you with the crafting of the putting the holes in the side to set the gems. That would just be a crafting check. Either of you could aid or each other, or you can do it by yourself. Your choice.
I think I have to do it. So I would ask for aid from Khan.
Right, yes.
Khan, so throw out a craft check in the publicly, please. That is a critical success on an aid, even on an F5.
That's all we need.
Yep,
5's
so
all we need. 4 even would have been fine.
Yep, 4 would have been fine. So you get a +2 just from that.
Okay. And I think I mean, it's every hour I'm able to redo guidance. So
It's
you
been
know,
an hour
this,
for sure.
This is going to be hours long,
Yeah.
all this work. So I feel like I'll add a guidance.
3.
+3 on that.
You're looking for a 36.
36, eh? All right, let's go.
Easy. Not a crit, but you nail it. Between Khan's help and your ideas, you get the place settings made for the gems you purchased. Each gem is a different type of gem. There's a sapphire, a ruby, an emerald, an amethyst, an opal, a diamond. There's gems of all kinds. And you fashion a socket for each, and you're able to get them with Khan's dexterous hand placed into each of the sockets. So your staff now has all 8 gems set within it. They're still, and they're near the top, like it's a flat top, and they're in a ring around the top. But there's still a place at the top for the central, whatever you place, the focus.
Yeah. And I think I would begin the process of creating. I believe I can just do it. So the divination gem itself is its own item of a certain rarity or certain level. So I think I would just spend time going around and then one at a time, however long it takes, however much money I got to spend to make it happen, enchanting each one to be of the same level. And then go to the next one, enchant, and next one. So this would be sort of a downtime thing. I don't expect I would have this all done in an evening.
Right.
But knowing that I can kind of do that, and while I'm doing that and like inscribing runes on the side, kind of, you know, bind it to this thing to make it one item instead of just a bunch of things connected to a piece of metal, you know? Right. I think while I'm doing that, I would be sort of thinking hard about endgame, what we are going to need to do. This is also pleasantly distracting for Zavid because the immediate future is having to confront his past. He doesn't want to do that. He'd much rather think about the end fight with Rovagug. That's less scary to him. He would much rather deal with that. Like, should we have to banish him with an imprisonment spell of some kind? A fixture of pure law at the end of the staff would be really good. At the same time, this would be really great if I ever have to use this as a weapon against my own god. That's pretty good. And then every time he thinks about the fucking ghouls, the Kyles, he's just like, don't think about it, don't think about it, just think about Rovagug. It's all good.
Oh my god.
Honestly, the end of the world is less scary than having to confront his past right now. He's just completely hyper-focused on the staff and how this might be useful to him after the fact.
That's fair.
Khan, what are you like? What's going through your mind helping him with the staff? Like, well, firstly, I guess Zavid, how much are you telling her about what the staff's going to do?
I would talk only about, I think, I wouldn't say about my ultimate designs to like break free of Kubriri. I think I would talk mostly about how I want to use this staff to kind of do anything I need it to do. Giving it access to all schools of magic is super important, but also using law, cosmic law, as a weapon against things hopelessly more powerful than us might be our only saving grace. I don't think, because I think that this, so when out of game, I guess in game too, Rovagug is the rough beast. This is a creature that law can't kill it. It has to exist. All we can do is imprison it. And I think even my little dinky crystal is enough for maybe that devil that we were able to kill, but not Rovagug. I don't actually seriously believe it would stop Rovagug. But I think it could maybe stop a god that's helping Rovagug, or Gathoa, or Lamashtu, or one of them. Like, I think having the power of law on our side, since other lawful beings like Sarenrae and Asmodeus, like having law on our side might be our ticket to success here. Using that to our advantage to fight these like again, hopelessly powerful beings. And I would tell Khan this as much. I'd say I think if we are able to reform this crystal and use it as a weapon against these gods helping Rovagug, I believe we would be able to best them. Not with our own power, but with the power of the cosmos itself. It would be tricky. We'd have to formulate some sort of strategy, but I think this is a weapon we should not overlook, I guess.
I mean, anything to, give us a potential advantage.
I also feel very out of my own element here. I know a lot of things based on the things that we've studied since traveling, but I know that there are so many more aspects of magic I have yet to determine. So many more things I have yet to learn. I'm scared of the failure of my own inadequacy. If I screw this up, I make a thing, I think it's going to do one thing, and, I mean, confidence is sometimes key with spellcraft, but too much confidence becomes hubris, and hubris ends the lives of lots of wizards and artifices, and I don't want to be that. I don't want to go into battle with something I'm confident will work, shatter it in my hands, and then just die, right? I want to make sure that whatever we're doing is going to work. And so I humbly ask for your help because I feel like you know a lot more than me when it comes to making something work.
I'll do what I can. I mean, trust me, I too have a vested interest in making sure that this works.
As do I. As do I. I really hope we don't biff it out there.
Well, from what I've seen, all three of you are not only mighty, but clever. I think...
like whip my head around. Gonar, I did not know you were there.
Hello, Daniel.
I get that a lot, actually. Just watching what you were doing. Don't mind me. But from what I've seen, all of you are very capable in the way of fighting and planning. I'm very confident in all of you.
I think where our lack of knowledge comes in is how exactly Rovagug's imprisonment works, and what exactly the forces that we work against how they are going to actually bring him back. I know the conjunction, has a lot to do with this. It allows the opportunity to bring him back, but I don't believe the conjunction necessarily releases him. I think an outside force is still at work or needed for this. We still don't know what that force is going to be and how it's going to work. I still feel we lack that knowledge. All we know, the only thing we for sure know, is that the blood of Danny's family is involved. Obviously, securing all of their family members and protecting them is going to be a vital interest.
Oh my god, Danny's
But that-
family. Hold on. And like, Reach is like, I have a ring. Shit. Fuck. Oh my god, I haven't talked about. Fuck. And it's just like, hey, should I call Mythanar? See if like there's anything we should know that's going on now that we're gonna go secure the sister situation. Since I got it on my hands.
I mean, yeah, if we should also always just be checking back to make sure, but
It's been a couple days. I'm a horrible boyfriend. I feel bad.
They're not horrible boyfriends. You had your own shit you were going through.
That is
You
true.
had
I just went
Reunite
through
with your
daddy
dad,
issues.
then you reunited with your sister, then you
And my
reunited
mom.
with your birth mother. Yes, so
Yeah, there's been a bit.
you have a very valid excuse. Before you call him,
Mhm.
I just want us to be mindful. I don't want to play into the hands of our enemies. We have been operating as a sort of rogue force in the world. On the behest of the gods that are very powerful, but their protection only goes so far. I think the gods we work against are starting to grow wise to the fact that we are working against them, and I think we could easily play into their hands by gathering the siblings that they are all after into one convenient spot. I don't want us to make it convenient. I want, if they are to get those siblings from us, they will do so at the rage and the wrath of our gods and our power. We are not going to just hand them over, kicking and screaming if that, right? So, I want to make sure that if we are going to contact them, we have our proper wards up, that no one is listening in on that conversation, that no one can divine their location. I trust the magical people in their employ to use spells. I know Danny has ways to avoid detection. She needed them just to survive. I know she can do this. I just hope she is using it. So if we're going to make a call to them, we need to be secure. We need to make sure that
makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't want to risk anything.
So, well, at least you know I have not been making collect calls and saying things over the ether. So we're good on that end. Yeah, that's a good point. Didn't even think of that. Head empty,
I have,
you know.
as a cleric, I believe I have non-detection, and I don't know. I could look at the list. It's just too much to look through. But I think clerics have that abjuration type stuff that allows
they do.
secure connection and stuff like that.
A clear audience or something.
Yeah, something of that nature. I would basically, while you're using your ring, I would use my magic to make sure there's no one listening in. I think by using my magic, only Cabriri could, but that's fine. Cabriri we're doing something for Cabriri, so they're not going to like betray their own cause and give it to like their enemies, you know. So it would be all right.
Yeah. Please.
You're safe to assume Cabriri's listening to just about anything you say.
And also, he's not gonna give a shit. You know what I mean? Like it would be you talking to your boyfriend. He's gonna be like, ugh. All right.
The most
He just
boring
has
thing
better
Cabriri
things
could
to do.
imagine. Yeah, it's the most boring thing Cabri could imagine.
My sex life is more interesting than this. No, just kidding.
Cabriri's sex life is disgusting.
Yeah.
No,
I don't want to
I
think
don't
about
want to
that.
think about that.
Yeah. Glad we're all
Lights
on the
off
same page.
only for the purpose of procreation. Disgusting.
How dare he? But, yeah.
But you use your ring and the image of Mythanar comes up, but you see the back of his head. Hello?
Hey,
What?
hey.
What? Where? I don't see you.
Yeah, the back of your head. You gotta turn
there
that
we
right.
go.
Right,
Hey,
yep,
hey,
right there.
what's
yeah.
up?
Hey, so it's been a little bit.
Hey, no, it's no problem. It's been busy here too.
Yeah, I was gonna check in on you with that, but so like I had a whole life crisis.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, my whole memories of being a child raised by goblins was a whole lie.
Huh.
It
Not
was actually
a good
genie.
realization. Genies?
Uh-huh.
What?
Disguising themselves to look like goblins.
You lead a very strange life, Reese.
I do, and guess what? I reunited with my sister, and I turned the ring over so it could show my sister.
And she just goes, "Hey there, heard a lot about you, the big man on campus." And
Yeah.
then she and Anyanka start snickering with each other.
I didn't say anything, I promise.
He didn't get it.
Good. Oh, sweet boy. Um Yeah, so there's that. Hey, guess what? I have a mom, and she was like a husk for some time of like who she used to be. I'm an elf that's like a sea elf, apparently. My family history is really weird. You're still into me, right?
And you've now got Genasi, genie blood or whatever.
Oh, and I have genie
Seelie blood, that's it.
Yeah, I have Seelie blood. So, I'm still attractive. You still like me, right?
Change is good, I guess. That's quite a lot to take in. Goodness.
Okay.
But you managed to do everything you set out for?
Haven't gotten your sister, and that's why I'm rarely calling, but I just needed figured I'd need to get the update. She's on a
Okay,
giant
well.
turtle that apparently you can't find unless you're not looking for her.
Giant turtle.
Yeah.
I mean, Sarah Nulia always liked turtles. She had a little pet one once, but I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, back on topic. And he looks over to Zavid. What did I need to ask him again?
Wait, what? Sorry.
Did I need to ask him something that involves like about change and forces or something?
I go up to the ring and I say, listen.
I turn it around to Zavid's face. He looks less green now.
I get
the
really
way.
close to the thing. Listen, we're trying to find your sister, your last remaining sibling. We have an idea of where she will be. Her sandstorm will not protect her soon. We have to reach her before the sandstorm fades away. We are worried for all of you. Is Danny protecting you with abjuration?
Oh, absolutely.
Detection spells.
There are wizards crawling all over the castle. Ever since she and Demirius and Eredril left to go to Kyonin with grandmother, this place has been swarming with magic users.
Are they hot?
I mean, some of them are kind of old, but...
Oh, I'm sorry. That
Are
sucks.
they vetted? We know that they are on our side. They've all had their background checks.
Lord Maris is the one who got them, so, she always dots her P's and Q's, or whatever the saying is.
All right, I think you're probably safe, as long as you don't do anything reckless or silly. I will check back in with your other siblings and make sure that they are fine.
The only
Great,
reckless
just
and
don't-
silly thing I want you to do is me and any cute himbo that comes along your way. Goes back
Well,
to...
I'll see what I can do. But we did get a response from the dwarves. You sent a letter to them?
Yeah.
They said that eventually they would like to, an audience. They want you to go and talk to the almighty Bearded.
Oh.
Roll a
Alright.
society check in the tower, anyone who wants
Yes,
to.
please.
I have society.
The
I've
almighty
been learning
bearded,
about
I
the
need to know
surface
what
world.
that is. Abilities. Nope. Skills.
Zavid, you've never heard that term in your life.
Tracks.
Con, you've never heard of that either, actually. But Reese, you do know that the dwarves of the Five King Mountains, their government is set up in what's called a beardocracy, and their leaders is a council of 5 beardocrats. Whoever has the largest, most elaborate beard is essentially the leader. So you know that Doesn't matter gender at all because dwarves, all of them are bearded. So the five high, the almighty bearded are the council of the beardocrats that you would want to speak to.
Wait, you mean like the big men in charge on the dwarf mountain with the most beautiful beards in the whole world?
Yeah, those guys. Your letters
Zavid,
seem
you're
to
gonna
really
love
resonate.
this. You're gonna love
Yeah.
this. Great.
Why? What's up?
Hey, so, remember how we sent that letter to the to the dwarves?
I do remember, yes.
Good news, things are nice, they like us, and they want to set up an appointment with us to speak with us. And it's not just anybody. It's the 5 legendary bearded dwarves that have the most beautiful beards of wizardry ever. In their, whole entire life of the dwarves. It's them.
You
They
say
want to
this.
speak with us.
I think you also have noticed you've never seen a single facial hair on Zavid ever.
Yes,
And he's
same
like,
with Reese.
I mean, I've heard a lot about the power of a beard and what it can do for someone. I suppose we should be honored and reply to them, let them know that we are overseas, but we shall be back in about a month's time, at least. That's like the latest. Hopefully we are not gone that long.
All right, yeah, I can work up a letter with Maris and have it sent back. Just let him know that you're, not in the continent right at the moment, but as soon as you get back, we'll set up a meeting with him.
That sounds excellent. Anything else we should know?
No, I haven't heard from Danny in a day or two, but things seem to be going well over in Kyonin. They're doing something about researching the family. I don't know. Grandmother, it seemed to say it was very important, but you all suggested we don't all stick together, so I decided to stay here in Druma. They
Yeah.
don't really need. I'm not magical. They don't need me.
That's fair. You're pretty magical as a person, though, so,
Oh, stop.
never. Anyway, I think that's all. Hey, Con, do you want to say hi to Mythanar?
Oh, hi!
Hey, Con.
And then she
Get-
immediately
getting
just
plenty
looks
of-
back down to what she was doing.
Getting plenty of blood on that sword.
yeah, whatever.
Okay, yeah, she's doing something big and important that regards some form of weapon or something for speed. I don't really get it. That's crafter stuff. Anyway, love you, sending kisses, and I cannot wait to break down the dichotomy of what just happened the past couple days because wow,
Yeah,
my life
Can't wait
is
to hear the
weird.
long version. Call soon, okay?
Will do. Bye.
Bye, boo. Okay, click. The image fades away from that ring.
I need a ring just for Mythanar.
It literally is just for him.
No, I mean in character.
Oh.
I'll find something.
Zavi, were you trying to call others, or was...
This Mork's cunning send in with, again, same guards, to just touch base with Danny, and just make sure that she and her sibling are safe, and that they are they're traveling smartly by, protecting themselves, kind of expressing, we're about to get your last sibling. There are immortal beings of crazy power that are invested in finding you guys and getting your blood so that they can start the end of the world. So nothing is too paranoid. We have to be extremely careful right now.
Zavid, oh my Shalin, it's so good to hear from you. We've been having a great time out here in Shalin. Grandma and Eridril and I have been looking into our family history. It's really long.
That is wonderful. Are you casting protection magic while there? I feel
As
like
much
you
as we
might be
can.
out in the open.
Grandmother has a really large spell book. She has lots of abjuration spells, and I've not been using Shadow Walk. She keeps telling me not to.
That's... I can see why.
are agents of our enemies in the Shadow Plane. They might try to scoop you up or something.
How are things in Assyrian?
It's going well. Reese has found out a lot about his past. He will fill you in on the details. Whenever we can't do too many of these calls, so we gotta kind of keep things short. But let's just say some loose ends have been tied up on that for that.
Gaslight gatekeep girl bossed. Tell her I was gaslight gatekeep girl bossed.
Got gaslighted, gatekeeped, and girl bossed all in one evening. It was brutal.
By their own father.
By their own father. But
That is some kind of a girl boss.
Yeah, we met some new friends. I made a pet of a mimic named Chompy, and we also have this
A new pet.
Yes, and we've got this cool Minotaur mummy. What was the Minotaur's name?
Happy Onk. It's not
Happy
happy
Onk.
like it's not happy like the emotion. It's Happy. Hoppy.
Okay, I think I'll just say Ankh because I remembered
Yeah.
Ankh, but I didn't say that.
Onk is fun.
Happy Ankh or just Ankh. He's very nice and wants to make his home with Chompy in Shadow Valley. They'll probably dig underground and make a giant maze. So
That sounds
we're-
amazing.
Yes, I think it'll fit right in. And we are going to confront your sister, but probably also my past. And there are some things you don't know about me that I've shared with the others that I will share with you at some point. But I don't want to make you worry right now. We're all doing fine over here, and when the time comes, I'll tell you the truth.
Well, I'm happy to hear the story. Hi, Con. Hi, Reese. You hear Danny yell from his spell.
Hi, Danny.
And then
All right,
you
I'm running
also
out of
hear
time. Be
Demirius.
safe. Yeah. Be safe. Tell
Bye,
Demirius I
everyone.
said hello.
Zavid
hi.
says hello. And you hear her telling Demirius that you're saying hello, and it cuts off right in the middle of her sentence.
I also remember Demirius is one of the best protectors
Mm-hmm.
of anyone I've ever met. Like, I know that as long as she's with him, I don't have to worry about Danny.
Right.
Saren Ray looks after her own, and she definitely looks after her champion and this sort of cause. Like, as long hearing him in the background saying "Hey," just immediately puts me at ease, knowing that I can trust that he's going to be the brute force to kind of keep everyone safe. If Danny's magic doesn't,
Right. Yeah, they seem, from what it sounded like, they seem like they're doing just fine. They are in the forests of Kyonin, which I have maps I can actually show you. We're getting close to ending, but we can kind of work on this a little bit. Let me clear out that. So Druma is here. And they went to the forests of Kyonin here, which is where the grandmother's the empress of. This whole area here.
And the Tanglebriar?
Uh-huh.
I don't know why I was so interested in that. Just, not the Tanglebriar.
It sounds
Tanglebriar,
fun.
yes.
It does sound pretty cool. It sounds like you're going to trip everywhere you go there.
It sounds horrible, yeah. But, yeah, that's where Empress... I don't remember her name, shit.
Hey, what about this Isle of Terror? What's going on there? I still don't know what's on the Isle of Terror.
I haven't looked into that much. I know there's a big fortress there.
That's where the pet adventure takes place.
I think an AP takes place there.
I imagine. I just like all these like the Shining Kingdoms, and then if you look onto this inner sea or this, I guess maybe it's a lake. It's a lake at Carthon. There's just a big island. Everyone calls it the Isle of Terror. What's there? Oh, big fortress. It's scary.
Nothing.
Don't go there.
There's some stuff. Just don't go there.
I'm imagining there's like trade between these kingdoms, and they all have to just avoid that island. Like, careful.
There it is. Queen Talandia Adasaril. That's Danny's grandmother's name. But yes, they are over in Kyonin in the forested elven lands. They seem to be doing okay.
Awesome. I like how we're using a lot of the places in this this sort
Yeah.
of world.
I'm trying to expand out as much as possible. Y'all are level 14. Like, you should be intercontinental at this point, you know? Solving continent-wide problems.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad we haven't gone too far south to the Mwangi expanse, because I have a feeling Zavid would not do well in a humid jungle environment full of predators. I think he would go into like very primitive, like survival mode, like
very much flight.
I think, yeah, after a week, I mean, we could even be in like a civilized area and he would already just have like war paint on his face and just be dressed in rags. Like, day 7, stuck in the expanse, you know, like getting a little dramatic.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else anyone wants to do at this point before bed at this night? Well, it's sort of been in downtime here with all this crafting. It's been a day or so.
No.
Is there anything else anyone wants to do at this point before the last night before you head out?
No, I think we're good.
I think for now, yeah, I think we're good.
And I think this is probably a good place for us to stop for the day. It's 3 my time. It's 5 on the East Coast, so
yeah, it's about
I
time.
think this is about time for us to stop. We'll probably pick it up next week or whenever, and yeah, we'll see where we go from here, heading off into the desert to try and find this lost, crashed airship and the long-lost sibling. Hope you'll join us. Thanks so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.